take seriously, it's fantasy football. The end. Yeah.
Hey, real fast,
I harnessed
Ray,
my inner Confucius.
I think Ray's got this for his positive tweet of the day tomorrow morning, man. I think they need to fire that out and quote SML.
SML quotes, man.
I don't remember what I said. What happened? I blacked out.
I mean, whatever it was absolutely beautiful. And what a way to start the show. I don't even know if the show is happening because I'm testing things. No idea if it's working. I think it is. I feel confident in the StreamYard capabilities. Guys, the chat, can you tell me, is it the so-called chat? Is it happening? Are we in here? What's good? Come on. Yeah. Yes. Jeff Carpenter. I know who that guy is. We'll talk about him in just a second. All right. You may notice one person missing. Technical difficulties. I know this is embarrassing. This is embarrassing. I've been going 3 days straight with my dude, J Mike. Okay. He's just exhausted. He said, look, Gabe, G, he says, G, this is 3 days in a row. Okay. I've been podcasting 72 hours straight. Is there any way that you could just take over the open bar tonight? I said, of course. Can I sing like you? Can I at least try? He said, Gabe, don't embarrass yourself. I said, okay. Well, I'm going to drop some bars then, because that's the vibe. I'm not doing any of that. I'm just hoping that J Mike can come back. Long story short, he has technical difficulties. That's all it is. We hope that he can jump in here. Anyway, here we are. It's the open bar. We're live, extra live, 9:30 Eastern ish. We waited. We tried to get J Mike up in here for real. But I've got this strange feeling that he'll be back. There's no way that he would do this to me. Right, guys? Right? Is that true? Right?
Yeah.
Right.
But I'm here. I may have scared him off. He was like, oh, that crazy girl's here. No, I'm out. Yeah, please.
Until he comes, you got another black guy on the show to fill those shoes, man. So you're good. Don't trip. We got the quota fulfilled.
Oh my
We're
God.
good, baby.
I really hope that people aren't like, man, J Mike looks really different. Sunglasses and he's slimmed down a little bit and he's got that headband hat on, man. That man looks fresh.
He's even got the light on in his closet.
With long hair. Yeah, no.
Yeah, okay. Well, we'll start there because that is in fact not J Mike. That is Ray. We got a couple people from the Devi Happy Hour podcast. We'll start with you, Ray. How are you doing tonight, my friend?
Man, I'm good, man. I'm happy to be here. I'm excited to talk to you guys and talk about, I don't even know what, Devi, Dynasty, life, all of that, man. Everything is good down here in Dallas, Texas. So excited to be here, man.
Oh, it's definitely just going to be you two for a while. If we get on that Devi train, y'all can just take over the show. So have fun with that. I can name about 10 to 12 guys and
that's all you need. 10 to 12. That's all you need.
It feels that way with Devi, but I mean, man, y'all really dig. Boy, howdy. To your co-host, or at least one of them, we didn't go with the triple threat tonight. We thought that would be a little too aggressive, especially with the man, the Deltron. Okay, it's 80 push-ups back in the building. Give me some Devi ADP. Give me some Devi ADP workout real quick. I'm gonna go to the side. Y'all can do some Devi, and I'm just gonna get swole, my guy. How are you tonight?
That might be where J Mike's at right now, hitting a couple of push-ups and some jump squats. But man, doing great. So glad to be back over here. Always a good time at the open bar. Got some new faces over here. So glad to meet stepmom Lauren and love Ray. But good to see you, Gabe. Man, hope J Mike pops in here like Sting coming out middle of WrestleMania or something like that. So let's see where J Mike's at.
I think he is going to do some sort of wrestling intro. I think he's got something cooked up. Just wait. Maybe all of y'all's lights are going to go out. Okay. You might hear the bell ding in that low tone. I think things might happen. You just never know. You mentioned one person that you were happy here to see here tonight. Who in the heck are you talking about? Could you elaborate?
Yeah, if we're doing the Brady Bunch thing right here, so below me,
I am not good at that. I've tried that once, and nope.
We got none other than not SNL, but SML, the newest acronym, initial nickname to the game. Y'all know her as Stepmom Lauren. Welcome, Stepmom Lauren, to the Open Bar.
Thank you. I know. Thank you. I feel legit because of you, and you have given me SML. I love that. I don't think you've actually really succeeded in life until you have an acronym, and now I do. I am fulfilled. Peace out. Appreciate you being on the podcast. Bye, guys. Have a good night.
Mic drop.
All right, and it was a pleasure to have SML on tonight.
Can't get rid of me that easily. Just kidding. I'm
gonna jump in with something real quick right here. I'm gonna show something in the chat, one of the chats. So this is unique. This is crazy. This is a first time ever on the Open Bar. I'm gonna see what I can do to make this a little bit bigger. Sorry to cut off y'all's beautiful faces for just a moment, but Brandon R_519, he says, "Wait, the Open Bar is on Twitter now?" ? I was asking these people how to put together a tweet, and all of a sudden I accidentally put the Open Bar on Twitter. Look at that. So yes, indeed, we are. We say we're live. We're in the YouTube chat. We're here, and that's kind of our first pick of places to go and be is YouTube. That's our home. That's where we reside. But you figured out how to get up on that Periscope, so you can probably see us right at the top of that Twitter page. Click on that thing, hit us with the smashy hearts. Okay. Put some comments in there like our boy Brandon did, anywhere you want to be. But I will say that YouTube is prominent because that is where everyone's chatting, having a good time. So get in there. I just want Twitter to be there too, because Twitter needs to be loved. Okay. Twitter needs to be loved. Guys, are we exhausted of fantasy football? I mean, I read a tweet today that it was just absolutely perfect. Just kind of emulates this season so far. 3 weeks ago, we were so happy to see for fantasy football, for just football season, and all of a sudden we're picking up Nelson Aguilar off of waivers.
How does that make y'all feel? Jeff Wilson. I mean, we're digging early. But you know what? This is what makes it fun. You hear it everywhere. You don't win at the draft. You do yourself some favors at the draft. But really, you're hoping for your first 4 rounds to stay healthy. And after that, it's playing the game. So it's fun. You know, you're already playing it. The fab dollars are flying. I saw it. I think Gabe was talking about it earlier, man. You can't take that with you. So some of these fab pickups are really interesting already going into week 3.
I know, right? When we thought that the shout out to J Mike, right? When we thought we were buying into the number 1 overall wide receiver last week in John Ross, now we have to worry about DJ Shark and Aguilar and Mostert, like you said. So is it just waiver season? Honestly, do we have to draft?
Yes. Of course we do.
Elaborate. Why? Why do we have to draft? You could make a starting lineup every week with waivers.
This is true, but okay, there may be a point to this, but draft day is like Christmas, you guys. That is the time when everybody can get together and the wives take a back seat. The husbands who don't play fantasy football, not my husband, he's amazing. The other ones that don't play, shout out to my hubby Jeff, they can take a back seat. Your draft day is like sacred. You never get rid of draft day. Do you win your fantasy leagues off of drafts? No. But that does not mean you get away from them. But I hate fantasy football.
Hey, I will say this too. Draft day is
I'm so mad right now. I have a league where I have a 2-quarterback league. Well, it's a super flex, shall I say. So I was all persnickety, and I'm like, listen to me. I'm going to get all great. I'm going to take Cam Newton real late. Then I'm like, I'm going to get Sam Darnold real late. Now look at me.
Yeah,
you gotta love the draft. So when everyone leaves the draft thinking that they have the best team, you know, you could have a 10 team, a 12 team, 14 team. Everybody leaves. Like that's the most hope in your entire season, and it could take, like some years last year, I know on my draft day, I remember the dude taking Jerick McKinnon and literally 5 minutes later, he tore his ACL, right? So it's those deals. But nobody ever has more hope than they do draft day. And it's fun. And especially we do live drafts, but here we go. Then you try and get some of your clever moves. I'm trying to take Cam late. I'm trying to get Darnold. Those things bite you real fast too. And you go, dang it, all for what?
Oh, for heartbreak. That's what for. And it was painful. It's super painful. And now it's a 2-quarterback league. So I'm looking at the waiver wire. I'm like, Gardner Minshew taken? Like, Mason Rudolph? What kind of fab money do I got to put in for Mason Rudolph?
All of it.
I literally may have to start a lineup without a quarterback in this league. I am not even kidding.
Luke Falk?
It's been a while.
Right? Actually, that was pretty surprising. And I really liked all the targets to Robbie Anderson. I'm not going to lie. Because Trevor Siemian looked like he might as well fallen on his own foot. I'm sorry, Trevor. I'm really sorry. I hope your foot gets better. But, ooh, man. No bueno. It's
been a wild, 2 weeks of football? Like, it's really been, if you would have told me back in June that Andrew Luck and Ben Roethlisberger and Cam Newton and Drew Brees and all these people would be either out or looking like trash, I wouldn't, you know what I mean? Like, I dropped $100 on Gardner Minshew and didn't even think twice about it.
Yeah.
Like, this is just.
I can't believe I said that with a straight face, but yes.
Yeah, that's what you got to do, right? Yeah. You got to take that shot. And now you look at Mason Rudolph. Like, I wonder what those waiver. I got $47 in the league, and I'm shooting my shot, and I doubt I'll get them. You know what I mean? I doubt I'll get them, but it's wild, man. That's why you need the Devy. You don't even got to worry about this shit. You don't even have to worry about it. The guys in college stay healthy for some reason. When they're in college, they're healthy for 4 years, getting the ball 50 times a game. As soon as they go to the league, they get injured. Every other play. I don't know what's up.
Look at RG3. That's a very good point.
And if you have these injuries, you could start tanking your own dynasty squad and just loading up on Devy prospects, and that's always gives you hope too. So it's a good forward looking process.
You might be tanking without knowing it.
Stop it, Miami. Be quiet. Be quiet.
I mean, I've seen some rosters that have started off 0-2, and they just look incredible on paper.
Yeah.
If you're looking side by side with ADP or something, you've got Juju, Mike Evans, David Johnson, Tyler Lockett kind of had an okay week this last week, but it had a bum first week and might have, not been enough to get you over the hump. Like those kind of rosters. And it's like, gee whiz, man. Like, what do you got to do? That's what I'm saying. Like you have to, it's so hard to be patient and hope that these guys pan out like they either have or that we've just, projected, and then they don't. And what do? Do you go and swing on some John Ross or Shark? Do you panic and trade? Do you drink as SML is doing? By the way, you got to hop in here live with us. Otherwise, you're not going to see these things happen. You're not going to see people put their drinks up and cheers you. You could have just done that from the other end of a computer screen, and you weren't here to do it because you're listening to it in the podcast form. How do you feel? Yeah.
You should feel sad.
Shaming.
I'm answering for them. You're welcome. Continue. Yeah. I'm allowing you.
I don't know, guys. I'm scared.
Well, I think what was so weird, because everyone forgets, right? When it's the off season, we're so excited for week 1 to come back that we always forget that week 1 is really weird. It's always weird. But I feel like this week 1 was more weird than other week 1s have been. There's a lot of W's in there. I can't believe I actually got that out with a straight face and didn't muff that whole thing. Anywho, we go into week 2 and we're kind of thinking, okay, so week 1 and that weirdness is over. Now we can really rely on the research we did in the off season. We can look at, okay, this is who I wanted to draft. We mock drafted. We did all of these things, and we come into week 2, and then there's this ridiculous plethora of injuries that are devastating. They're not just 1 or 2 guys here and there. These are big time names. And you were talking about really good teams on paper that go 0-2. Dude, I somehow in a redraft, 12-person PPR, got Alvin Kamara, Ezekiel Elliott, George Kittle, and Jared Goff. I'm 0-2 in that league.
Damn.
How?
And it's not looking better with Kamara losing Breeze. That sucks.
And then George Kittle is not doing anything right now, which is so shocking. And I have somehow Vance McDonald and Mark Andrews. The reason I did that is so I could stash some of these guys to trade week 3, week 4 when the bye weeks start coming around. So there was a method to that madness. But now I'm like, I don't know what to do. And it's flabbergasting. Like, this year is really weird. You know who I blame? The Saints. Why mess with something that has already been established? Which is funny because I'm a Saints fan. So I blame my own team, which is now my new team because I'm from St. Louis. So my team actually divorced me to go back to its second wife. I'm not bitter at
all. You know what's crazy about week 1, man? So the reaction week 1 reactions, especially on Twitter, is like one of the best things of all time.
Oh, it's great. Oh, the growth is real. It's so real. Trade this guy? No, stop it.
I love it. And you see I saw yesterday, my buddy did it. He sold Godwin for Evans straight up in a redraft. And I was totally about it, right? Like, I'm not on the Godwin's better than Evans train, but those things are happening everywhere. And Ray can maybe attest to this, but when playing ball, when it was week 1 doesn't tell you who your team is. It's after week 2. And then really you get 2-3 weeks into the season. So week 1 doesn't tell you hardly anything except for maybe who is a little bit more prepared than the other teams. It doesn't define who's good. It doesn't define who's bad. It doesn't all of a sudden make week 2, but Demarcus Robinson is not all of a sudden a top 12 receiver. You know what I mean? There's all these things that we're just jumping the gun. So like week 1 is like the ultimate sell, week 1 to week 2, the ultimate sell window. Everyone should have sold A-Rob after that 100-yard game. You know what I'm saying? Like, go and capitalize and just get rid of these guys that you didn't want to draft anyways.
I love it. Everyone who started freaking out after week 1, they would like hit me up on Twitter like, oh my God, what do I do? I'm like, stop it, be quiet right now. Second of all, who has so-and-so in your league? Go and find them now, because I guarantee you they're doing the exact same thing you're doing and freaking out. Go sweep up those guys. Go get them, especially with this whole Andrew Luck fiasco. I wasn't as low on T.Y. Hilton and Marlon Mack as a lot of people were. I'm like, don't worry about it. Hold them, be quiet, or wait until they have a blow-up game like T.Y. Hilton and Marlon Mack did really great. I had people trading them away for some money picks. It's like, that's great. Do it. Being smart about it is super important, but it's so hard not to freak out. I'm sorry. You don't have a soul if you didn't freak out over week 1 and you didn't freak out over week 2. I get it. The struggle is real. But harness your chi. Find your place of zen and peace.
Yeah.
And find your way through. I know. Like, I opened up with Confucius. I'll just keep going with it.
We might need to put on McGriff as our Deltron aficionado, putting us up with 80 push-ups, making us work out every day. You might need to calm us down every day, well, SML. Yes. Get us into our meditation zone.
I can be your yogi.
Okay. Can we put out something every day to ease up in a positive or negative direction? With Allen Robinson, for example, after week 1, calm your chi. Hold up, wait till week 2. He's going to throw up 4 points. Just wait.
We got some Captain Planet stuff going on right now.
I think that's a really good point that Lauren and Matt really that they just made, because I think, and yes, we're past week 1 and week 2. But those are some of the best opportunities to capitalize on people who are freaked the hell out, right? You know, you see it in college, you see it in the NFL. What's up, man?
Hey!
I'm sorry to interrupt,
now.
Ray.
We got 2 now.
Now, how can
I was holding it down for you, J. Mike.
Listen, man.
There's 2 J. Mikes.
Yeah, I'm back. I'm back like I never left, and apparently I never left.
You missed a lot.
Apparently I got slimmer, I got better looking. I just like life really turned up for me on Twitter, on the show. Like things are popping for me. So what up, everybody? Good to see everybody in the chat who's going berserk. I'm here. I'm sorry. I did not mean to interrupt. SML, you were in the middle of a fantastic point. You were going there. Keep going. Keep going.
I was, and take it away, whoever was actually talking.
Ray, I think J Mike. It was J Mike.
Little J Mike.
It was J Mike. Yeah, whatever. Let's do it like that.
Little J
Mike was talking.
Little J Mike.
But nah, I think what you should do is, if you've got people that are freaking out over some of these players, like Joe Mixon or whomever it is, this is the perfect time to strike. I just bought Joe Mixon. I just bought him for Rex Burkhead, McCole Hardman, and a 2022nd, and I'm fine with it. Like, I was perfectly fine with that. If you're that panicked, dude, I'll text it to you after the show.
Stop.
Rex Burkhead, McCole Hardman, and a 2022nd. I don't give a damn if he only gives me a couple of games this year. But the reality is, the fantasy championship doesn't start till week 13, right? So we've got a ton of time. And like Matt said, these coaches are still figuring out. People doing cute shit. Like the Bears ran a formation where they had 4 running backs like in the backfield. What are you doing? What are you doing, Nagy? So give these guys some time to figure things out. Unless you're Pat Mahomes, who's just on a completely another level than everybody else in the NFL, then it's just be patient. RELAX, man. Relax.
I feel like there needs to be, I almost don't want to do it because then everybody will have it, but like a fantasy calendar, right? So the best times to buy, the best times to sell, the best times to go, hit the overreactors. There's like a definitive calendar in the fantasy world, especially the dynasty world too. But man, it's like buy your rookie draft picks right now, sell them, in April. Buy the underachieving superstars week 1 to week 2. Sell the dudes who blew up week 1, week 2 who have no business doing that. You know what I mean? It's almost simple math, but it's funny how that all works.
See, you could have a calendar and it would make total sense, and it would be like, this is absolute perfection. No one would follow it because the emotions get too much involved. So I would follow it because I need a to-do list to like function in life. So I would follow your calendar, but it's really hard when you have so much emotion attached to your picks and how much, and like you were talking about, everything is so involved. So like week 1 is kind of like, oh my God, it's here. Oh my God, I hate football so much. And then that's what it is. Everybody cries and it's a sad day. I laugh because I'm morbid like that.
That's all you can really do. I mean,
at
the end of the day, we can't trip.
That Joe Mixon take is garbage.
Bro, you're not a Joe. What about Joe? Why don't you like Joe Mixon? Tell me why don't you like Mixon? The offensive
line is terrible. He is a terrible player. He might have had some great moves in college. What he has now is a bad attitude and karma chasing his butt around, and it ain't letting up.
Oh man!
At least he had
Get rid of him now while you can. I'm telling you. I don't like Mixon. Don't like Mixon. I loved him in college, though. I loved him in college. He had some really, really good moves. He could really make defenses, especially that little juke move that he would do right before the end zone and then get right in. It was awesome. He can't pull that off in the NFL. And like right now, if his offensive line was better, if AJ Green was on the field, if Andy Dalton, there's all these ifs. So you're literally putting all of your hopes and dreams here on almost 3, I would say 2.5 players. You're talking about Tyler Boyd and you're talking about Joe Mixon. Your other half is John Ross. So I don't like the Cincinnati offense at all right now. If you're talking dynasty, okay, that's different. But right now in redraft, get rid of Joe Mixon while you can sell him high. Wait till he blows up, then capitalize on that because you're not going to want to deal with that headache that is the Cincinnati Bengals as you move forward when they face these defenses and especially defensive lines that are going to make, the red rifle like vomit.
The problem is that if you can only sell Mixon for Mecole Hardman, Rex Burkhead, and a 2022nd, I'm not selling Joe Mixon.
I do agree with you with that. I hear his name vomit in my mouth. I don't
Can't do it. Can't do it.
Can't do it. I don't like it.
All right. We need to catch up on some things because the chat is happening and I feel like I'm ignoring them, and I am because it doesn't exist. But
this is like 4 references.
Yeah,
listen to him go, Deltron. Listen to him go.
Let's just assume that it does.
He's been going in, J Mike.
I'm sure I'm getting yelled at. That's okay.
Yeah. So out in who is feedback? No one is feedback anymore.
Is it me?
Feedback. I don't know.
Is it me?
Check.
Check.
Oh God.
Check.
Oh no.
Oh boy.
It's
Can
happening.
y'all see me?
I can see you.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Oh, okay.
We're good.
Well,
We're
I'm
good.
seeing double though. I see 2 J Mics, man. Something's
We're
wrong. I almost feel like actually J Mike would be a combo of Ray and I. If you comboed Ray and I think you'd make
That's true.
You are their love child. Look at that.
You're
Ray G.
the
Dilton.
Debbie happy hour love child, bro.
there it is.
Eat your heart out, Dwight. Eat your heart out.
Holy
Man.
cow. All right.
Dwight's in the chat.
We're ignoring the people. Let's talk
back to this. Okay, so I still can hear feedback here and there. I don't know who it is, but stop it, whoever you are. Jake Anderson in our YouTube chat, because J Mike, we're on 2 chats now. Did you know that?
I did just get a whiff of was this Periscope that you've
You
tapped
smell
into?
that? You smell that?
Man,
Huh?
smells delightful. I like what you're doing.
To get my inner stompy.
Hey.
Smell that? That's fear. But it's beer because we're in the Twitter sphere. Ooh.
Yep. To the question. Yes.
All right.
To
Okay.
the
Anyways,
mhm,
Jake
yep,
Anderson,
mhm.
who are you prioritizing on the wire this week, and how much are you bidding on these guys? Whether it be redraft, dynasty, pick your poison. Where are you spending it? Go ahead.
Go for it, man.
Oh wow, some hot takes.
It sounded like J Mike was going to talk. I still see Terry McLaurin available in some leagues, man, and that's almost silly. He made it through round 1 of that gig, but he's my first and foremost. The other one, and don't do it maybe yet, maybe next week, but Golden Tate is going to be a fantastic snag here in a couple of weeks, man. They need some help, and with the dangerous one, Daniel Jones finally he's going to get the start this week, but let's see. Outside of Evan Ingram, that place is a disaster. So for me, it's Golden Tate 1, but I'm still snagging up Scary Terry if he's on the wire.
I like that.
In
I like
both
that.
formats, I would presume. In redraft, sure, and then most definitely dynasty. But I doubt. I mean, dynasty is likely drafted.
Another name too. Speaking of Golden Tate, who's under suspension, Chris Herndon is another name to keep in mind as well. He was the second leading receiver behind Robbie Anderson, I believe, with 39 receptions, and Robbie Anderson had 50 last year. So you're looking at their third stringer quarterback that's going to rely on as many offensive weapons as humanly possible. So he's one to stash. He's got a bye week 4, I believe, correct? And then he's back week 5? Yes, no, maybe so?
Herndon?
That sounds correct.
Herndon?
Yes.
Yeah.
That is
So
correct.
that is something to keep your eye on, too, when you're making waiver claims, and especially with a tight end landscape that is, like, equivalent to a dumpster fire. Keep Chris Herndon in mind, too. I like him a lot. Dynasty and redraft. I like them both.
Especially with the, how do we put it nicely, the accurate Luke Falk, not so much the gunslinger per se, but if
He
we're
was better
looking
than
at
Trevor Siemian. Give him that.
if we're looking at Derek Carr 2.0, with everything being within the first 10 yards from scrimmage, and I think Herndon's about to smash everything up. One guy, and Jake, this is just for you, Jake. One guy that's been really sneaky this season. All of a sudden, if he's still on the waiver wire, I might want to go get him. DK Metcalf. What? Already wide receiver 30 in PPR scoring in redraft. So we watched him make plays in both weeks now. I think somebody put up on Twitter like a nice little cut up of all of his targets so far. I can't remember who did it, but shout out to that person. If I can find it later, I will shout them out. But DK Metcalf out of nowhere, making plays. So it's nice to see.
DK.
Well, I'm going to go with the kicker from the Los Angeles Rams, Greg Zuerlein.
There we go.
Because we all
Finally.
play with kickers. I know you've been waiting for that one.
Legatron.
But
Legatron.
No,
Good job,
think
J-Mike.
SML took mine. Chris Herndon is definitely somebody I want to invest in. When he comes back, I don't care who the quarterback is. He'll be targeted early and often. One of the names that we heard about a lot before the season as a potential starter, which I hope nobody really bought into that. But Darwin Thompson in redraft is somebody you may want to take a look at. Damian Williams, and I had a lot of Damian Williams shares. He has not looked good early this part of the season. Knee contusion, he should be fine. Shady, that ankle injury that he sustained versus Oakland. You just want to monitor that situation. I would say any of those running backs that are kind of banged up right now. If Jalen Samuels is on your waiver wire for whatever reason, go get him. Go get him. Yeah, Connor, whatever's going on with his knee, you want to check. Just check for these guys. I know it sounds like, they should be on somebody's roster, but Golden Tate, Chris Herndon, Darwin Thompson, Jalen Samuels, they may be on DK Metcalf. If they're on your waiver wire, go get them. Go get them. Let everybody blow their budget on Demarcus Robinson this week. Let everybody go blow their budget on those. Go get these guys now.
And if you guys are in a super duper deep league where you're talking 14 to 16, James Conner's already banged up. It's only week 2, guys. It may not be outside of the realm of possibility to go take a look at Benny Snell. So,
I knew it was coming.
Just in case. You never know. I wouldn't waste any money on it, but just keep your eye on what is going on with the Pittsburgh running game right now, because it's tough with Mason Rudolph coming in, although James Washington is Mason Rudolph's prom date. So keep that in mind as well. And so does Vance McDonald, who I love, although that's not what we're talking about. But I just kind of jumped the gun there. Sorry about that. That's all I got.
Listen, you bringing the hashtag snail love here. You are in good company, SML. Well done. Did you hear that, Gabe? She said, "Go get Benny Snell now. You don't necessarily pay for him, but go get him." She said. Yep. Did you hear that?
Yep, that's what I said.
Gabe, you there? Gabe, who? Connection? What? Huh?
Who that? Who?
Listen, apparently we didn't go deep enough for Jake. Jake wants us to he wants deeper targets. He said we are not going deep enough for him. He throws out, hey, would you rather have Debo, Robinson, or DJ Chark of that group? So Debo, DeMarcus, or DJ Chark out of that.
PPR or standard?
Let's go PPR.
PPR, I think Chark might actually be. Chark and Debo look pretty sexy. Gardner Minshew is going to try to have somebody who is going to be consistent and reliable for him. Who else does he have besides Leonard Fournette? Surprisingly enough, but don't forget there's John DeFilippo there too. So that's something to keep in mind. So Chark is pretty interesting, but Debo Samuel, finally, he's in the picture. Interesting. What do you guys think?
I think I'm taking Debo out of that group too.
I was talking about. My bad.
I'm not taking any of them. If you want to go deep, give me that guy catching balls from one of the best quarterbacks early this fantasy football season. Give me Devin Smith from the Dallas Cowboys. Michael Gallup is out. Yeah. Randall Cobb has got his own little role.
A little bit off your shoulder there. Hang on.
There we go. So go Devin Smith. I'm a Cowboys fan, and I thought they cut him. I didn't even know he was on the damn team until he caught a 50-yard touchdown, and I was like, there he is. Devin Smith, Ohio State, New York Jets, wherever the hell he's been. But he's going to be that deep threat. And Dallas has who do they have on their radar this week? I think it's the Miami Dolphins that they're playing.
So good. Oh my God, they're so good.
I know that defense is legit. They just traded away. They're one of the best defensive players. So go get, and I guarantee you can go get Devin Smith for what? $0 to $1 bid, $2 bid. Go put something in for Devin Smith.
Wow,
man,
I like that.
The endorsement of the I'm a Cowboys fan and didn't even know he was on the team cell. I don't know how much I want to trust Devin Smith there. I like Jake Smith though. We want to talk about that guy from Texas.
Isn't Michael Gallup hurt though? So that's a situation with Michael Gallup banged up. I mean, who else do they have besides Amari Cooper? So he brings up a really good point because a lot of people are going to be salivating over, Michael Gallup, especially with a double team on Amari Cooper. Luckily, he's been able to create better separation than he did when he was a Raider. But now there's limited options for him. So I love that Smith pickup 100%, especially recent, like now, like I don't want to say recent because that implies in the past, but in the past is actually correct. Then in the near future, and then if you want to talk season long, that's an option to definitely keep your eye on, because Amari Cooper also isn't necessarily 100% sustainable too. He does kind of battle injuries every here and there. So, hey, he's someone you can hold on to and play. And then if you have a deep bench, you can actually keep him and stash him if you need to. Word.
Go, Gabe.
I was just gonna. It seems it's between Debo and Shark and DeMarcus. Those are all just so frustrating. I mean, Debo seems like he is the actual wide receiver one on that team. But hey, Dante Pettis, 34 times as many snaps as week one.
look at those snap shares going up. Come on, man. You go, Dante.
And percentage wise, I don't know what's going to happen there. It's frustrating, but I think Debo is like the safest floor. I think Shark is definitely the highest ceiling, and I would probably put Demarcus Robinson third just because of Sammy and Kelsey, getting that 50% target share probably.
Yeah.
And then it's just going to kind of be split up between, Mecole and DeMarcus and whoever running backs if they're playing, or Darwin Thompson. Go get Darwin Thompson, by the way. We don't know what's happening with those Chiefs running backs, and I don't think they're satisfied with the play necessarily, and I think they want a running back.
Can we go back to something real quick? I'm curious from a strategy perspective. If we can turn our minds to Dynasty for a second, when it comes to trying to make sure that the back end of your roster is up to snuff, if you will, is that something that you all focus on year round, or is that something that you primarily try to take care of either in season or off season? Because what I'm finding that one of the holes in my Dynasty game per se, among the many, is just the idea of trying to keep up with my roster and trying to make sure that I stay up on my waiver claims, I stay up on my bids to make sure that in the event that for whatever reason bye weeks hit, injuries, whatever it may be, that my team is where it needs to be, or at least is competing for those targets to help me stay competitive. And I'm finding it basically I have to set a timer on my phone, not a timer, but like just set a schedule in my calendar to say, okay, on this day, Ray was running this league, so I have to make sure that I'm on it the night before. What do you guys strategy wise? What does that look like for you all?
For me, the back end of that roster has always got to be turning over. If it's sitting still, if you have a guy in the back end of your roster that's been there for more than a year, a calendar year, it's probably not, it's going to be one of those things. I want to have guys on back end of my roster who have upside. If not, I'm moving them for something that does. And yeah, you want to have guys that have for me, I want to have guys that have potential to move into my starting lineup. But I'm also looking, when we get into the Debbie side of this thing, I want guys who have potential to jump up in some value, like a Preston Williams and things like that, where, man, Miami's such a fire. But that kind of guy where somebody sees, like I got offered a 2022 for him just 2 weeks ago. It's those kind of things that I'm always trying to take whoever's on the tail end of my roster, moving them for future assets, or putting that with a, a T.Y. Hilton to move up a couple spots to get a higher ranked receiver in my own rankings or something like that. But those are for sure like just constant turnaround. So I am always looking at the back end of my roster because I want to make sure that has value in other people's eyes, not just mine.
Yeah, I think it's in Dynasty. It's tough in season because the size of your roster is so big. It's tough in season to really make a lot of moves to solidify the back end of your roster or, off the waiver wire. If my recommendation would be in a trade, if you're going to trade for whatever player it is, always ask for something back. Even if that something is Ryan Switzer or it's just some kind of ancillary piece that your trade partner won't have any quarrel or qualm about giving up. They're already getting Stephon Diggs or whomever it is in that deal. Rex Burkhead, I'll give you X, Y, and Z, and you throw back big name player in Rex Burkhead or big name player in some ancillary piece. That's how you kind of do it in season. Pay attention to the end of the season. So I want to take it slow because I enjoy this football, because when it's gone for a while. But if you devy, it's just getting started once the NFL season is over. But week 17, week 16, when those young guys are getting some reps in the game, pay attention to what they're doing. Not many people were on the Mark Andrews train late last season, but if you had caught it, I saw it and I'm like, I got to get that guy. I've got to get that guy now, because there you go. I've got a feeling that he could be something in the future. I don't give a damn that Hayden Hurst was selected in the first round. So you got to pay attention all throughout the season. And those who do pay attention, those are the people who have better overall rosters instead of just that top end talent. So, I mean, Lauren, what do you think? How to solidify your dynasty roster throughout the year?
I mean, I completely 100% agree with you. I'm not a big dynasty person, so I don't really have the kind of expertise and the knowledge that you guys do. But just to speak really quickly about Mark Andrews, something to understand too, when you're looking at offensive pieces, just make sure you understand the structure that's around them. So Mark Andrews is so interesting because when he was in college, he was listed as a tight end. And then for 1 year, he actually wasn't. He was listed as a wide receiver. And I believe he was the leading receiver as a wide receiver, even though he's a tight end. They didn't even have a tight end on their entire team. These are the kind of pieces that you look for when you're building any kind of roster, when you're even trying to find sleeper breakouts and who you can get super late in a draft. So, yeah, I 100% agree with you. That Mark Andrews take, sorry, I got awful clamped because I was like, I love Mark Andrews so much. I forgot about my life. I love Mark Andrews.
Yep, it was either Mark Andrews or Darren Waller at the end of drafts for me.
Man.
All the way up.
Let me ask you guys this. Can anyone currently name, speaking of Mark Andrews, can anyone name the top 5 performers at tight end so far this season in PPR leagues? Top 5.
Aside from Mark Andrews,
I believe in you guys.
Number 1.
Yeah,
Mark Andrews, numero uno.
Yeah.
Keep going.
We're going to do Darren Waller.
Darren Waller, he's number 8 right now. Good try.
Really? Okay.
Kelsey.
Austin Hooper.
Kelsey's got to be up there.
Ray Wilson's got to be up there in PPR.
Okay, I heard Austin Hooper. Austin Hooper's 11th.
Greg Olsen.
He had a weak week.
Greg Olsen is 9th.
Kelsey.
Kelsey.
Travis Kelsey, number 3. So we're missing 2, 4, and 5.
Okay. Ertz.
Ertz is number 6. Good try.
What?
I believe
Evan
you guys.
Ingram. He had a big week
That's
1.
right, Ingram, number 2.
Ingram, big week 1.
All right.
We're just missing 4 and 5.
Will Disley.
Will Disley, good guess. Number 10 on the season.
Damn it.
We got the top 11 Sam too.
now one of them is
Vance
one of
McDonald.
them. There you
Yeah,
go.
Vance McDonald.
That's number 5. Now number 4.
Gross.
Number 4 on the season so far. It's the only one you're missing. And I'm very confident you guys will probably keep guessing over it because you won't even think about him.
What conference does he play in?
I'll give you AFC. I'll give you that. The American
Delaney.
Football Conference.
Oh,
Ding, 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 ding.
Damn.
Walker.
Okay.
The top 5. So we've got a couple of names that we know and love in Evan Ingram, Travis Kelsey, a couple of the guys that you could get later on that you thought would be something so far, and then Mark Andrews just kicking the door down and everybody's face in at the top there. With all that being said, let me ask you guys this. Aside from Herndon or aside from that group that we've all mentioned, I guess in the top 12, any of those guys stand out to you as being people that you feel like you have to go and get now before their price gets absolutely absurd? Not necessarily top 5, but just in general, because I think tight end is a funny landscape that continues to shift and shape and do weird things each season. Obviously, you have the guys at the top, typically your Kelseys, your Ertz, your Kittles, who we didn't even mention so far. Kittle currently 13th amongst the group, which is
weird.
I don't know. Very weird. Yeah. And he had those 2 touchdowns that got called back in, I think it was week 1. He had the 2 touchdowns called back. So, we'll see about that. But, any tight ends, because one guy that I'm really excited about out of nowhere Uncle Will Disley, and I think that you can still probably get him. You can still probably get him for peanuts. And as long as Russell Wilson's the caretaker of the Seattle offense, bring me Will Disley, who
J Mike.
There you go. Yeah, Big Montana himself. Yeah, I like Disley. I like Disley a lot. It's a fantastic nickname. I wish I could take credit, but I'm pretty sure that was from somewhere else. Maybe the footballers. Yeah, footballers. Yeah, they come up with some of the best nicknames around.
Yeah.
Big
Montana. Yeah.
You know what? So in redraft side, I was singing Delaney's praises all offseason. All he did was the three previous seasons to his last one where he was hurt was finished in the top 7, I think. And Mariota is Mariota, but Mariota loves him some Delaney as a safety net.
Always.
And yes, he's got Corey Davis, who could be something maybe. And AJ Brown, we all want to now be the replacement to what we thought Corey Davis could be, but neither one of those guys is Delaney in Mariota's eyes. So Mariota had a down week last week and still had like 3 for 30 something. But that's better than what you got from OJ Howard, who you drafted in the 5th round. So sorry, OJ Howard owners. Delaney's going to be fine all year long. He'll finish top 10. I'd almost bet on it, but he's such an easy, cheap redraft buy. Obviously, Dynasty a little bit different. He's 35 years old, so I don't know. If you needed a guy, though.
Real quick. You mentioned OJ Howard. Is anybody still in on OJ Howard this season?
Cameron Brate is Jameis Winston's guy.
SML's out. Oh, Brate.
Oh, no.
I'm still in a little bit.
Why? No.
I'm still in just a little bit because of the talent. He is a talented player, right? And it's early. We just had a whole 15-minute diatribe about not panicking out over 1 and week 2. I am concerned. I'm not saying that I'm not concerned. The alarms are going off. But if you bought OJ Howard at cost going into the season, what are you going to sell him for? What can you get for him at this point in time in Dynasty? I know it's not much. In redraft, nobody's trading for him. So by just default, I'm not saying you start him, but you've got to hold on to him for right now.
I agree.
Just to see. You can't. I'm not selling. At this point in time, you can't buy Mark Andrews right now. It's going to be an overpay. You can't buy Mark Andrews. Shit, Evan Ingram's value is probably going to go up with Daniel Jones. I just, out of that top 5, I know this might sound surprising, but I think the one that may be obtainable is Travis Kelce. And I know that sounds, but in Dynasty,
you're right though. You're right.
He might be, because the Chiefs, it's Mahomes, right? He's doing this, and wait till Tyreek Hill comes back, and they got Demarcus Robinson now, and look at McCall Hardman. Kelce may be the one, definitely in Dynasty. I think he would be. I guarantee you can get Kelce a lot. You can get Kelce cheaper right now than you can get Mark Andrews just off of hype.
Man,
there's a name that was missing in there that I would have liked to have heard. I should say is T.J. Hawkinson. I'm curious to see what he's going to do with the Lions, because when Matt Stafford falls in love with a receiver or any kind of receiver, is it going to be Amendola? Kenny Golladay? Sure. But I think he's going to kind of fulfill, between him and Amendola, he might fulfill that Golden Tate role. So I'm very curious to see what TJ Hawkinson can do as well, especially since he did not have a very good week 2. I'm curious to see what's going to happen to his stock and where you can get him. So I do like TJ Hawkinson as well.
I'll say this too on the OJ Howard hype or OJ Howard tip in Dynasty. I'm buying right now. He is still, like Ray said, he's a great athlete, a good tight end.
He's a beast.
Going back and watching that game, he played every snap, and he played essentially tackle and fullback the entire game because the offensive line was trash, the team was trash. But he's that good of a player that he was able to keep himself on the field. So
but
the Brate thing, man,
were called back were to Brate, weren't they?
I know, so but eventually.
Concerned about when it comes to Jameis Winston is his love for Cameron Brate. So as good as OJ Howard is, and like, what are we looking at here? So that's why I am personally out on OJ Howard, but I completely understand where you're coming from as well. You can't just drop him. You might as well hold him. Wait until, like, for example, in redraft, wait until he has a huge blow-up game and then see what you can get for him.
Yep.
That concerns me, though, because it has to be at least a little bit consistent. for him to have the kind of value that you want. But I don't know. We'll see. We'll see what Bruce Arians has to cook up, because again, it's only we're going into week 3, so we'll see. We'll see. But it's very interesting. So the tight end landscaping isn't as like dumpster fire-ish as it normally is. Who am I kidding? Yes, it is. It's kind of garbage.
Yeah.
I'm lying.
I mean, I'm cool with the late round tight end. I feel like I'm on top of the world. Like what? Everything.
I love Mark Andrews like so much. So much.
Jake has a good point here from the chat. If you're listening in podcast form, or you're throwing up
I love him.
Comments here and there. This one again from Jake, because I miss Jake. I got to throw him up here more than just once. He says, I love all these guys, but it has to be a great sell high opportunity. I agree.
I'm sorry. Real quick, can we just go back to where and or why you channeled that voice for Jake?
Yeah.
Well, I
is that man bun getting a little
migraine? Just the I love these guys part. I love all. I don't know. I just
if you're gonna do it, you gotta do it at least a little bit like Valley Girl, pinky up. You know, like, oh my god, I love these guys.
Oh my
God.
Tight end. Okay, look. Okay, so let me get this straight.
No,
You went and drafted Evan Ingram, OJ Howard. You drafted these guys so high in your draft. Real adorable. Guess what I did, bitch?
Oh my god.
13th, 14th, 15th, 16th round. I don't give a shit.
Oh my god.
Mark
The look on
Andrews.
Ray's face right now.
Mark Andrews. Hi, sweetie.
I'm
Okay.
not
Tight end number 1.
What
Travis too.
is happening?
more wine. Oh my god, he's my best friend now.
Hi, girl.
Oh my god,
This
girl.
is hey, real fast, everyone. You're tuning into the Real Housewives of the Open Bar. Right now, we're talking tight end buys.
about to pull your hair out if you put it up, Lauren.
What's up, girl? Mm-hmm.
The Real Housewives of the Open Bar. Oh my goodness.
That did just happen. Well played, man bun. Well played.
So this has absolutely nothing to do with the open bar, but this part of Castaway, the movie, is just heartbreaking when he comes back.
I was watching that on your screen. I'm like, this can't be that scene.
And his
Spoiler alert.
His wife has a whole family. Like,
Stop
you
it.
couldn't wait for me?
Right now, stop it.
You couldn't wait for me? I was just on a deserted island for like 10 years and you couldn't wait?
This explains Ray's face 5 seconds ago. It wasn't that the female battle back and forth. It was the fact that the dude's lady left him, and he comes back to that.
Andrews is her tight end. No, but she's in it.
Sorry. I'm sorry. That was for you, Travis. Travis May, that was for you, baby.
Yeah, Travis been
Travis has
watching
been all
Castaway
over
the whole
Castaway.
time, looking past in quotes J Mike's head to watch Castaway. But I don't want to leave that.
Wilson.
I don't want to leave that Castaway metaphor because that's funny. Of like, y'all can't wait for me. So we're at week 2. Is there a guy that is like, what, y'all can't wait for me? Who are we not giving up on yet that you kind of took high? You know, your OJ Howard, whatever. I don't know why you do that because it's all late round TE, baby. But what's a guy? What is your Castaway? Y'all couldn't wait for me?
I'm giving up on you. I've got one, and it makes my heart really sad to say it because I was expecting the world from this man this season. This Anthony Miller. Say something, son. I've loved you since Memphis.
Say something, I'm giving up on you.
Yeah, I've championed him all off season for 2 years now, and Trubisky has, in between his injuries and Trubisky, and I'm not dumping on Trubisky any more than what he's earned over this last performance.
I think you just called him Trump. Continue.
But and to see Tariq Cohen out there getting snaps at slot, to see Miller not being targeted and not being a part of the offense like I hoped he'd be. I need more, specifically in redraft. In Dynasty, he's my guy. I love Anthony Miller. But in redraft, he's probably not even on teams at this point. I got to send him away. But I don't want to give up on him, but I feel like I have to at this point for this year.
He's only playing, 50-60% of the snaps, and he has the worst quarterback of the NFL. Give me Falk. I'll take that Falk of shame and give me him over Trubisky.
I feel like that whole last segment y'all did where you were going back and forth, that should be how Nagy talks, man. He tries to be so cute that I feel like that's how he talks in his game planning meetings, man. Trying to be so cute.
Oh my God, Tariq, you're nice. Did you bring more wine? No.
Anthony, get out. Anthony.
Oh my God, I'm going to tell your father. Oh my God.
Y'all broke Deltron.
Oh my God, this is so good.
Go find your Aunt Becky. Bring me more wine.
Lining up 4 running backs on the field at the same time, trying to be so cute. And I don't know if this really counts, but AJ Green is somebody that I was stashing in a lot of redraft leagues, and I will wait for him. I'm waiting for him to come back on the field. Shout out to a little John Ross action early on in this season, but AJ is still a terrific receiver, and Lord knows they need him. Let him do his thing out there. So I'm hoping he's back week 4, week 5, something like that. But I'm that's kind of like one of those things that's like hitting like a mid-season waiver wire gold mine if he comes back and is healthy. So I got my fingers crossed with AJ.
Oh God, mine's George Kittle. Why? Where are you?
Where's my elite production?
Yeah.
Bye. No, seriously, Kittle, where are you? Like, I've been calling, I've been writing. It may be stalkerish, but whatever. Get back on my squad. Where you been? I need you back. That's George Kittle's for me. I can't let him go. I can't quit you, George.
I've seen over the last, when did Ben tear his elbow up? Like yesterday or the day before, whenever, Sunday.
Like 6 months ago.
Yeah, exactly.
I was going to say something so bad, but I won't say it.
Stop.
I won't.
I am not. I've seen people like super panicking on Juju. And while I do believe that his value takes a hit, yes, it's not, maybe he isn't in line to be the wide receiver 1. I'm not giving up on Juju Smith-Schuster. I'm not selling him for peanuts. I'm not just dumping him. I don't know why. He's still the number 1 in that offense. And you better believe that Mike Tomlin, listen, all the stuff that went on with Antonio Brown in the past and the Steelers and their what looks like about to be their inevitable collapse, he's coaching for his job. Juju is still going to get the targets. He's still the number 1 guy. Dante Moncrief can't catch anything. He's just dropping everything left and right. Everybody wants to just assume that Oklahoma State, James Washington, he's going to be the guy. He's going to be the go-to guy. Deontay Johnson was playing over James Washington when they benched Moncrief on Sunday. Washington's not coming in taking over being the number 1. Don't give up on Juju Smith-Schuster yet. Do not. He's a talented kid. Don't give up on him yet.
It's a good one.
I don't want to pivot here too much, but I'm starting to get a little bit worried by some of the quarterbacks in the NFL right now. And is there a legit possibility that at the end of the season we see no more Eli? Well, who cares? We see no more Ben. We see no more Breeze. And there's a legit chance that we don't see Cam Newton after this season. I think that's an actual possibility.
Well, the possibility for not seeing Ben Roethlisberger is straight up because he's out for the season. The possibility of not seeing Drew Brees, I think, is going to be way less because it's Drew Brees. Cam Newton is a whole different species of question. First of all, he's a whole different species of human, so there's that. But why? What? Explain that. Riddle me this, Batman. It's like he has nothing wrong with his shoulder. He has nothing wrong with his ankle. And then it's like, why aren't you running the ball? His ankle's fine. Just kidding. His ankle's re-aggravated. He's out. What? Stop it. I can't. So
I think
but who's behind him? Will Greer? Fantastic. No, this is BS. I'm only saying that because
it could get ugly. It could get ugly, but I mean, I think Cam looked at luck, and I think he's really contemplating this whole thing. I don't know if you saw what he was talking about after the game, but he was like, "I need to take a little bit long look in the mirror and see what I got going on." His shoulder was messed up, right? His throwing motion has not been what it's been in over a year and a half, 2 years. He does not look comfortable throwing the football. He's not in. If
we started grass on our fantasy football teams, we would have been solid. The turf got more completions than any other person on the Carolina Panthers. And no, I did not mean grasses and weed, folks. I meant the ground.
I mean, I heard that Rivers has more rushing yards than Cam and Kyler combined on this season, and my mind was blown. But it's just a testament to say, not for Kyler. Kyler's going to get into his, but Cam's not the same, and I could see him hanging it up. But the other three could easily not even lace him back up next season. And I like that it creates some doors for these new wave of guys to come in, but there's not enough quarterbacks coming in next year. Ray will tell you, there's like maybe 2 to 3 that we legit starters. It could be a weird landscape next year, man.
It's going to be interesting for sure. I actually quite like Mason Rudolph. I'm not going to lie. I think that interjected a life into the Pittsburgh Steelers that I think they desperately needed. Who knew it'd be Mason Rudolph? In fact, I have a question for you guys. Have you ever heard the term Rudolph the Red Zone Reindeer? Was that a thing back when Kyle Rudolph was scoring touchdowns in 2017?
I think so.
Yeah, because
I think so. I think it was.
Yeah,
Yep.
my buddy's like, dude, he's a Pittsburgh Steelers fan. He's like, I've got the greatest name ever, Rudolph the Red Zone Reindeer. I'm like, you're 2 years behind, bro. No, so I'm not the only one who has heard of that before, right?
Yes.
Thank you.
You're correct.
Thank you.
Sorry, guy. Or if you're trying not to stab your husband, then sorry to your
It's not
husband.
my husband.
Shout out to your husband, by the way. He was one of the first people in this so-called chat. No need to say names or anything, but
well, let me just give you an idea. It's our buddy. His name is Matt. The name of his fantasy football team, because we're in Florida, his name is Fartwater Manatees.
Fart water. Okay. I mean, I can.
Did he draft Antonio?
Thing. No, he's a Steelers fan, so they're not getting along. They're not bringing wine to each other's houses.
No White Claw.
Don't you dare bring a cab to my house. Okay, I don't drink
Did
cab.
say White Claw that I just heard because he does White Claw. He does.
Oh my!
I like
God.
White Claws too. They taste good.
He sure does. He needs to lose some pounds, so he says. So he drinks the White Claw. That's what he said. Not his words, not mine. Don't look at me like I'm guilty. Man, I just got judged virtually.
I drink them, so I'm not going to make jokes. So I don't care either.
I'm just gonna go.
No, I'm with you. I'm with you, Lord.
Let me ask another question.
SML.
Let me ask another question while we're down there with the talking with Florida and the Fartwater Manatees and all that.
I'm gonna say, I thought you were gonna talk about farts. It's your
No. I want to know what's up with all the players from Florida. So Jalen Ramsey demanding a trade. Now you got Drake is on the block. I'm seeing Jamal Adams is talking about he's demanding a trade. Are we turning into the NBA? And are we forgetting that you're not working at like a regular employer? You have a contract that you're under. And what are we getting here now? It's like, man, I don't like it. My coach doesn't like me. That's it. I'm gone.
It's really hot here in Florida.
weather related.
Very hot. It's like 130. Very humid. Tempers tend to flare. They say that crime and heat, as they both increase, are correlated. Whatever. Who the hell cares? You get paid millions of dollars to go play. Whatever. Stop it.
I was just going to ask you, what if I pay you $1.5 million or $4.5 million?
No, quit it. Whatever. It is hot here. I get it. But who wants to play for the Miami Dolphins right now? Everybody, because they get like 300 first-round draft picks next year. Guess what? Yeah. You're going to be on like the beginning of something really good, unless you still have Brian Flores as your head coach. Then you're all screwed. Get out of Florida. What am I thinking? Be gone.
Even Jamal Adams, though, everyone's throwing
Okay,
their names in the hat.
can I get traded to like LA? Can I do that?
You don't want to get traded to LA.
I'm not going anywhere near the Los Angeles.
You don't want to get traded to LA.
My heart has been scorned.
I don't know, man. It's just, I don't know. I think it's the precedent. Once one person does it and they see some success with it, now everyone's doing it. And what are these general managers and owners going to do when you've got Ramsey? And I think he's one of the most talented cornerbacks in the league. But when he's
also one of the
damn near fighting the coach on the sideline, I think these players know what to do and how to act in order to cause so much cancer on the team, to get themselves removed from situations.
You bring up such a good point, because there has been this interesting movement of like giving the players more of a voice, which is what I can't speak to. I don't know what it's like to be a player in the NFL, clearly. So I don't understand what their life is like. I don't understand the demands that they have to answer to. And if where they need to go is giving their players more of a voice, maybe this is a good thing, that giving the players more power by requesting trades and doing the things that they're doing, maybe that's something necessary that has to happen. I have no idea. I can't speak to that. I can speak to the drama, though. Where's my popcorn?
Well, and what does that drama do for us as fantasy
owners, true,
right?
And as fans for a team, it's hard, especially when you fall in love with players.
So now when you're drafting, and I just have to say, are you looking at the individual and saying, all right, when is he up for a contract? Do I really want to have to deal with drafting Melvin Gordon early or Antonio Brown? You know, you've got to take these things into consideration when you're trying to put together your team, because of situations like Melvin Gordon or Todd Gurley or whomever, Ezekiel Elliott up until the last minute. And even if they do sign late, Zeke had 13 touches in week 1 because he wasn't fresh. And all of this has a ripple down and trickle down effect to dynasty and fantasy football. And I think moving forward, the smart fantasy players, the smart redraft dynasty, you'll pay attention to a little bit of this stuff. Do I really want to deal with this headache, and what's the cost for that? I've got to build that into that ADP. I know this player's already talked about.
Exactly. You make a great point.
I almost feel it's a trickle up of kind of a situation, because we're seeing the college game. The transfer portal is hot. I mean, the transfer portal it is crazy. I mean, NFL, I could see, you're in your career path and all this stuff, but you're in your actual career. But in the college game, when you see it's like, camp just started, I'm not starting, I'm out. I'm going to the transfer portal, I'll go on to wherever. And it is happening all the time now. It's as simple as coaches announcing a start the very next day the transfer portal is being hit. So it's starting from the college game, moving up to the NFL now, it almost feels like. But that's typical, right? Because the NFL has been mimicking college now for how long? So
too long.
Yeah.
One of the interesting things, and Gabe, this is I don't know. I guess this is okay for me to share. We were in a DM chat with one Scott Connor. He's on Twitter. I forgot his handle, but Scott Connor, I think he does some work over at I believe it's RotoViz or Dynasty Command Center, one of the two. But Scott's good people in that he was saying what we're going to be looking at really soon is all of these running backs, probably before they get to either the second to last or the last year of their contract. He said, we're just going to see a bunch of them start holding out. And they're saying, no, like there's no way I'm going to continue moving forward in this facet until you pay me. It's not going to happen. And he was laying out his case, and I just find it really compelling to see. And maybe, Gabe, this is the answer to the question that I had a while back, as I've continued to fight with this all off season, is for a lot of these running backs, when do we start getting out of these older running back business or the investing in these running backs? Maybe it's, okay, I've got you as a rookie, and maybe I have you in year 2 and 3. And after that, I gotta go. Like I can't fool around and wait for you to hold out. I can't fool around and wait for you to age out and get hurt. I can't fool around and wait for those things and invest all this time, particularly in Dynasty. I can't take that loss of the investment. I find this conversation is one that has to be answered in this CBA. And I'm curious how deep or how much the Players Association is willing to dig in against this very instance or this very stance, and how that affects us as dynasty players, like you were saying, Ray. So that's so fascinating to me. So fascinating.
That's the nail on the head, though. It's the CBA. It's that next bargaining period. What is that? 2 years from now, right? I think that'll be probably one of the biggest points, and it's going to be talking about guaranteed money, and in this holdout process, and running backs are going to definitely have their voice here because they feel like they're getting ousted the most, but. I don't know. You can see both sides of it. It's not pretty. And especially with the influx of running backs coming in over the next couple of years, silly. So like half these dudes that are on the cusp anyways are going to be losing their jobs. They're going to be more mad,
Did you hear that clip of Todd Gurley? I saw it on Twitter. I forgot what it was from, but after the game, it was last season when the Panthers played the Rams, and Todd Gurley and Christian McCaffrey, coming in the middle of the field after the game for hugging and talking. And Gurley looked at McCaffrey and was like, get paid, bro. Get your money. Make sure you get paid. Like, you know what I'm saying? It's those little things to where, man, you giving me the ball. Look at Lev, man. You giving me the ball 30 damn times a game, and you don't want to pay me like I'm worth? Shit, I'll sit out the season. Now, we can sit here and go back and forth whether he lost money or not, but you watched that game last night and tell me that Le'Veon Bell didn't look like Le'Veon Bell. He didn't miss a beat. Screw his rap career. That is absolutely garbage. That guy can still ball. That guy can still ball. And he sat out of football for a year. Melvin Gordon is just saving his body. Now he's going to come back at some point. We think, just like we thought Le'Veon Bell was going to come back at some point. I hope Melvin comes back. But, man, listen, Matt, and I know you can attest to it, we played Division II football. Nowhere near the NFL, nowhere near a Power 5 school. But the way that, Matt, yeah, the way that I feel now, dude, my knees, I'll show you, I've got holes in my knees from surgery. I've broken all kinds of bones. I've had multiple concussions, and that's just in D2 football. So I can only imagine playing at the highest of the high. Man, those dudes getting paid, man. It's the only sport without guaranteed contracts. And even the ones that are guaranteed, Kirk Cousins, $84 million, or, such and such just signed a $100 million deal. In the NBA, that's chump change. That's like six-man money. These guys are gladiators in their sport, and they need to get paid. They're going to get paid. And the owners and the television deals, this is a bigger conversation than just now, but it will affect dynasty rosters, especially dynasty when you've got a 28, 29-year-old player on your team and they're looking for that last payout. You better take it into consideration.
I mean, and just people compare this to the NBA just on the premise of players trying to, or beg or plead or whatever to get out of deals. And I see it more as like kind of empowerment and whatever, that doesn't need to be argued. But as far as the pay goes between the two, I mean, my goodness, like you're saying, Ray, that six-man money is basically what every NFL player is getting. And
the argument is right that the NFL roster got 53. Yeah, sorry about that. I was going to say the argument is that the NFL roster has 53 guys, the NBA has 10, but the NFL is making significantly more money than the NBA too, right? So let's get to that as well. It's got to balance out a little bit. It's got to come meet in the middle a little bit. Even the baseball contracts too, man. You talk about those are silly, but I don't know, man. I feel like you're just doing these dudes wrong, especially when it is, like Ray said, it is so hard to get there. It's so hard to make that second contract. Can we get some of these guys paid for what they've done? Like think about the money that the fantasy football side of it is bringing into these NFL organizations as well. Like it's silly. It's silly.
Real quick, Big B, shout out to Big B. He's always good people here in the chat. He throws out, he says, hey, you can't hold out unless you have something they need. The problem is the position is replaceable and that's not changing. Now, I think that we all can probably agree that the top of the position group, the true difference makers, those are the ones that probably tilt the balance, particularly at the running back position. But what do you all have to say to that?
He's right. He's right. I mean, you can go to any one of us can go to our employer if we suck or we're just average and say, look, I want my raise, I want my promotion. If I don't get all these things, I'm not coming to work tomorrow. most of the time, if you're just average, like, oh, we'll see you later. Like I'll have the ad on LinkedIn and everything else by the end of the day. But if you're really good and you really are that valuable to your company, to who's paying you week to week, then you can do that a little bit. So, but I mean, at the same time, it's got to be tactful. You would think that the old school way, you put in your hours, you're going to get paid for it, but it's not like that all the time now. We see guys getting done dirty left and right.
Yeah, it makes a good point, and I think what really hit me about that question is Melvin Gordon just stands out to me with this, and the Chargers are just digging their heels in, and they're like, "Listen, you're going to play for $5.6 million, or you're not going to play at all." And I think they're just running Austin Eckler like down everyone's throats. I think specifically Melvin Gordon's throat, as they're saying, like, "Listen, we don't need you. We have Keenan Allen, we have Mike Williams, who is like, I'm banged up. JK, no, I'm not." And then, they've got Justin Jackson. They've got all of these weapons that they have. And it's at the same time, like you said, it has to be kind of tactful at the same time. I don't know. That's a tough one for me, because if I went to my boss, granted, my boss is me, but if I went to my boss and was like, "Listen, you need – I'm just kidding. I'm not kidding. I am my own boss. But at the same time, if we're good to somebody and be like, "Hey, I want this,
Flex.
I want this, I want that." I mean, what are you really going to get from that? I don't know. I don't know how it works. It's an interesting – did I kind of humble brag there? I just had to –
Yeah, a little bit. Yeah. It was a flex. It was a slight flex.
Like that?
I think, Mike, I think that the problem is, I agree with you. I agree. If you're the elite of the elite and you have something that they need, yes, except the running back position. All right. Real quick, without you guys looking up, where did Austin Eckler go to college?
Was he Houston?
Did I make that up? Southeast Mississippi Mud Dogs.
Pretty much. Western Colorado University. I don't even.
My next guess.
It doesn't.
Jack Rabbit.
The thing is, running back really, and I know we use this term in fantasy football a lot. It really doesn't. I mean, you could find those guys literally off the street. Carlos Hyde is 5th in the NFL after 2 weeks in rushing. All right. The running back position is so replaceable. And I just quarterback, left tackle, maybe a defensive end, a cornerback, but running back. And that's why, Le'Veon Bell, before he held out a year, he had gotten injured the year before. I mean, that's the position where your shelf life is super short. Your window to earn money and get that max contract is small. But damn it, we don't need you. We don't need you. And the New England Patriots are setting that precedent to where they just roll out 3, 4, 5 running. Brandon Bolden was getting carries in the first game. All right. Then Ezekiel Elliott, I think that was a different story. Jerry Jones, say what you want about the Cowboys. He has shown since he took over that team a loyalty to his guys. And he's going to keep the ones that he wants. He's going to keep them and do what it takes. But what are the Chargers missing with Melvin Gordon sitting at home? Really, what are they missing with Austin Eckler, who's the number 1 scoring PPR running back in fantasy football right now? What the hell am I going to pay you $50 million for that contract that Todd Gurley got? I guarantee you the Rams are kicking themselves in the backside every single day for giving that man that money. Now, good for TG, good for Todd Gurley getting his paper, getting his money. But if I'm running an NFL franchise, I can go find a guy down at the Rec who can run the ball and give me a couple of games, and I can throw him back there behind a good scheme, and he'll be okay. The NFL is changing. It's freaking changing, and pass catchers, offensive linemen, quarterbacks, that I don't running back is, unfortunately, it's just one of those positions that is very replaceable.
And isn't it so crazy that it's one of those positions that I feel, because again, I didn't play football, but I feel it's one of those positions that just gets beat up and yet relied upon for the conversions, for the touchdowns, for the red zone looks. Isn't that so interesting how that coincides? I find
that's when we get into. I always get in this conversation with like buddies of mine who didn't play football, and it's when they see when the Niners signed Tevin, and then they bring in whoever.
Moment. Let me like my air conditioning's throwing my hair out. Oh my God, let me just turn my
my God, girl.
Girl, get it.
it.
The wine off of Man Bun. Where is the wine?
All right, here,
Look
girl.
at Jim, I quit.
Yeah, hold on.
No, it's that whole thing. You see the fantasy football fans overreact when a team signs a running back when now it creates competition in that team's backfield. But you have to do it. Look, I mean, if a team does not go into the season with like 3 capable backs that could actually carry the ball, then they're doing it wrong. And that's just run business, right? And everyone freaks out about that. But this is what's going to continue to happen. We just saw Paul Perkins get claimed off waivers today in Detroit for God knows what reason. But they got to have bodies up there, right? What happened to CJ Anderson? I don't get it. But anyways, this is what's going to happen. You're going to see teams always just stack up running backs and they're going to shuffle them out and they're going to, you know, if a veteran goes and lands somewhere and or it becomes available, then somebody will scoop them up or whatever, but they're not going to want to pay them.
Mm-hmm.
Just how it's going to go.
Yeah. And it's so strange to me. Just coming from a sport I played soccer my whole life. I played volleyball, softball, basketball, like been injured myself. Football's always been one of those sports where like, I love it because I love to watch it, but I didn't understand kind of, I guess, the ins and outs of it. It just seems different to me. I don't know why, but that running back position, so heavily relied upon, yet so interchangeable at the same time. Very, very weird.
Go ahead, Gabe. Sorry.
I was just going to say one more thing about the elite running backs versus kind of all of the other running backs. Whether there is an actual category for those remains to be seen, I think. But just mentioning a tweet from Scott Barrett, or rather a thread about kind of how his take on how running backs don't matter, in quotes, because that's kind of the vibe these days, and kind of what y'all are saying right now, why we shouldn't be paying these running backs. And kind of long story short, it was that there was an elite group of running backs that could come back from year to year and produce the same. And some of those were in the realm of, you know, Ezekiel Elliott and Todd Gurley, and possibly in the future here, McCaffrey, Kamara, so on and so forth. But I think that if that's true, is there some sort of line, like, can we say that Melvin Gordon is elite, or is he replaceable? And because of what we're seeing from Eckler, yeah, sure. I mean, it doesn't help the case at all. But maybe there's something more to Eckler that we don't know about, because we don't see Justin Jackson doing the same thing either. I don't know. So there's got to be an elite line if that is true from what Scott Barrett's saying.
And I think that's going to be telling, and we can try to put a bow on this because there's a few things I want to get to before we have to head out here soon. That it's going to be very telling between what happens with Dalvin, what happens with CMC, particularly CMC, just with the shoulder, the weight that he carries, and the timing of all the CBA stuff going on. All of that's going to be super fascinating. How I think he might be the pivot point. If there's going to be some sort of, I don't know. No, I don't want to go any deeper because we could talk about this for a very long time. And one of the things that you brought up earlier, Matt, we have to get to, at least to some degree. You brought up the transfer portal. We've got 2/3 in the last week. We've had the entire Devy Happy Hour show on the Open Bar, and we've gotten 0 mentions of anything Chuba Hubbard, anything the helicopter that was Schrader against Kansas State last week. We've got to go to some. Yes, the fact that you are a backup quarterback on scholarship, perhaps, and you are willing to risk your life on a 4th and 16, man. Listen, man. Cocaine's a hell of a drug. Like that was insane.
He was on that White Claw, baby. He was
Black cherry White Claw.
White Claw.
You know what's real fun? Okay, look, let's get some Devy stuff real fast. But let me drop one thing real fast, and I might stir the pot. But I think some of the running back, quote unquote, elite running backs, or how that category even works, depends on the scheme of which that team runs. Where I'm not saying Alvin Kamara isn't good, but Alvin Kamara wasn't an elite prospect. He is not even an elite runner. He is in a great system for what his skill set is. So you could put a Eckler type guy in that system. I bet he'd do really, really well. Where if you take now Tony Pollard and Alfred Morris and you try to make them replace what Zeke did in that scheme, in that offense, it's not the same thing. So not everything's apples to apples there on the run game. And that's just, I'm throwing it out there. And I don't dislike Kamara at all, but it's different.
Sounds like you hate him.
He sucks. So anyway, let's get into Devy. No, I'm just kidding. J-Mike, you guys really want to talk about some Devy on here or what?
We listen and we don't have to go super deep with it. I don't know. Gabe gets kind of upset when we venture into weird places sometimes. So I don't want to upset him at this time of night. But
I'm just afraid, really. Y'all like you frighten me. You're like powerless and ignorant.
I know, me too. We can be there together.
No. Okay, yeah, y'all support each other.
Let's spin it like this.
Real Housewives.
Let's spin this to make it dynasty relevant, man. So before y'all go into the rose all day, next phase of this thing,
all day.
It's rose now.
The struggle is real.
Why did I say it? So
why?
If you have an 0-2 team. Let me set up for real quick. If you have an 0-2 dynasty team, we're going to go a dynasty real fast to get the Devy element to this. And your team is just trash. Like you thought you were going to be good, is trash. You don't really see this turning around. Ray, what is the move, man? If you got that Devy outlook, and tell them about this 2020 class, they know what to do with their team.
Well, hell, if you're 0-2, I mean, I would just, I don't know what.
I'm saying your team's trash. I'm trying to set it up.
I'm just saying, listen, Linda, listen, honey, listen, Linda. Here's my thing. And first of all, because a lot of people say, I don't Devy. If you play redraft, keeper, dynasty, at some point, your damn players have to come from somewhere. So they're coming from college, all right? Scott Fishbowl, we're looking at all the crazy scoring things. Like, I was thinking during that whole draft, like, what college guys are going to be good for the scoring format if it stays the same next year. And it's just good to start thinking ahead, chess, not checkers, and dynasty. So I'm just going to say this. The 2020 class and the 2021 class, we have just talked about Phillip Rivers and Ben Roethlisberger and all these fringy players. And I'm just going to say, running backs like Derrick Henry, Marlon Mack, Aaron Jones, these guys that are starters right now but may not be that in the near future. They haven't received a contract extension. So if they haven't paid you yet, indicator number one, your lights should be going off as to the long-term viability of said player. But when you're looking at these next two classes, I have said and I maintain that these two classes are going to usher in a completely new wave of NFL talent and push out some of those old guys. So some of these players that we're relying on now, they're going to be gone because these guys that are coming in, the quarterback position, everyone has heard of Tua Tagovailoa out of Alabama. You've got Justin Herbert out of Oregon, and then some players on throughout that. Wide receivers, I've got to give Jake some love. CeeDee Lamb out of Oklahoma. Jerry Jeudy, everybody knows about him. Jalen Reagor, Tyler Johnson. There are a ton of talented players coming out, and I will just say this, and I plan on talking about this on the Destination Devy. If I were in a dynasty league, I would not sell any 2021st right now. I would just hold on. I would hold on because the value that they are right now, I guarantee you towards the end of the season and throughout the pre-draft process, it's only going to skyrocket after the NFL Combine and Henry Ruggs runs a 4.28 40-yard dash and things of this. Hold off. Just chill. Let people come to you and beg for those picks. I'm not selling any of my 2021st right now. If I got them, I'm holding them because these next two classes, 2020 and 2021, SML is going to be talking about DeAndre Swift like crazy come next year. Watch. Mark my word. SML is going to be, oh, my God, that DeAndre Swift and that dead leg and what he did at Georgia. And GQ told me about him first. So I'm telling you, these next two classes are going to be legit.
Let me throw this in there too. Most people, and if you're playing Dynasty, you know about the 2020 class as it sits today. Maybe not in the depth of it, maybe not knowing who you're getting at the tail end of the first with the Cam Akers, Chuba Hubbard, things like that. But we're going back to the calendar. If you want to start getting involved in it by 2021 picks right now, because they're going to be a lot easier to attain, they're going to be a lot cheaper. Yeah. Get the 2021 first, seconds, whatever. And Ray said this 100 times, but by the 2020 seconds and thirds, because the 2020 first is going to be real hard to get. You'll be real happy if you got the 204, 206 in this class and compared to this last class we just had. But get the later 2020 picks and start buying 2020 first picks right now, because you'll be thanking yourself for doing that later on.
Well, what do you mean? We could have Scary Larry or Scary Terry at this point. Scary Larry.
Hey, Larry. Yeah, Larry. Hey, Larry. Get over here and catch some footballs for Case Keenum. You know who that is? Yeah, me neither, but come and catch some footballs.
That's coconuts. Get off my petunias.
All right. Anyway, Hollywood, he was the second round pick too.
Yeah, I get it, but think about the picks that were going before him. I mean, we're seeing, God, I'm already forgetting the 19 class, but there were some people getting drafted ahead of him that had no business there. You know what I mean? So it was, those guys were pushed down the board. And meanwhile, we're seeing Irv Smith go in a second, and Irv's great, but tight ends take a while, right? And it's that whole thing. So if you can move a Scary Terry for a 2020 second, you better do that right now.
Lauren, who's the rookie that you like the most right now for, let's just talk about redraft. Who's the rookie that you're all over right now in redraft?
Oh, at a specific position?
Just, yeah, any position. Let's take Kyler Murray out of the situation.
I'm loving Marquise Brown. Marquise Brown. There's a couple of them, though. I love Marquise Brown. I do like TJ Hawkinson because he was one of those that was like, I'm sorry, rookie tight ends take a while. Hold my beer.
Yeah.
Here I come. I like him a lot. And Marquise Brown really, and the reason I like Marquise Brown so much is because I am so impressed with Lamar Jackson. Because I was one of those people that did the whole punchline, like Lamar Jackson, he's the RB1 for Baltimore Ravens. And it just
that's why RotoWire made the t-shirt.
It was easy. Loved it. But I just love to see his progression. And I love the first thing he came out in his post-game interview was like, not bad for a running back, huh? That's awesome. You school everybody, dude. I love it. It's one of the reasons I love Marquise Brown. I love the Baltimore Ravens. I love Lamar Jackson. I don't love the Baltimore Ravens. I was getting a little bit too in depth. But I like that. So if there's one rookie that I really do like this year, I think I'm going to lean on Marquise Brown. I like TJ Hawkinson too. You
set me up perfectly, because what if I told you that Marquise Brown wasn't even the best wide receiver on his team in college at Oklahoma, and the guy that was better than him maybe ranked number 2 or number 3 amongst the incoming rookie wide receivers?
I would not be surprised, considering his cousin is Antonio Brown, who went to Central Michigan. And, not surprised.
It's just that's just how talented this class is, and players that we were. And I've said this before all over Twitter. I feel like as analysts, as whatever you want to call us, it's our job to kind of talk about these draft classes. We were really reaching in 2019 for some of these guys, because half of the people that went in the top 10 of every rookie draft, they wouldn't even be in consideration to be a first round pick in 2020. That's just how good Jerry Jeudy and CeeDee Lamb and players like Jalen Reagor and T. Higgins and Tyler. I mean, it's ridiculous. If some of these guys, Terry, it blows my mind that, and good for Terry McLaurin. He landed in a good spot and he's been balling out. God, I probably wouldn't have him ranked. I don't even know where he would be ranked in the 2020 class.
I mean, if you have hands and legs, I think you can work out in Washington. I'm kidding. No, that was me. That was super mean. That was super mean. Sorry, Terry.
Probably. Well, I'm not listen, it is a really good crop of players that will be coming into the NFL, and a lot of them have immediate impact for redraft, for Scott Fishbowl, for Dynasty. And, this is it's going to be fun. It's really going to be fun to watch these guys mature over the next couple of years.
What's really cool is Brian Flores, the Miami Dolphins head coach. He recently got into Devy, and you could tell because he's trying to blow the Miami Dolphins up to set up his Devy roster, bro. So he's like loading up on the 2020 picks. He's truly listening. I believe he's a fan of the Devy Happy Hour, so he's been listening and he's taking the advice. So good for him, man. Shout out to
Scary Larry was listening to Lauren's show. He's the one that's on Lauren's stream all the time. Scary Larry watching Stepmom.
Hey, Larry.
Yeah. My bad, Jim Mike.
No, I was just gonna say he 100% literally wakes up just to get down. Without a doubt, Brian Flores does. One of the guys that I do need to know about, because you said quarterback was not super exciting for this class, and we don't have to go too deep here, but there's a guy out in Utah, and he plays for Utah State, who I am just such a huge fan of and have been. Jordan Love. Can you tell me that it's going to be okay? Can you tell me that maybe he works his way all the way up to the third quarterback in this class? Can I please hold out hope that Jordan Love can not be the second round pick of the Miami Dolphins next year and can actually be about something? Because like you guys said already, I'm really excited for just how deep and how scary good the wide receivers and running backs can be in this group. But obviously they said, hey, you needed to go ahead and get your quarterback in the last couple classes because this one ain't it. But talk to me, please. Tell me Jordan Love's going to be okay.
I wouldn't call myself the quarterback guy at all, but people who I trust and like and listen to, I see Jordan Love climbing and climbing and climbing. I actually just saw a mock draft 2 days ago, yesterday, showing him going in the middle of the first round. Jumping from the thing with Love is that he's got a higher ceiling, right? His ceiling is not capped. They're kind of looking at him like, Josh Allen ish, where Fromm is more, he's going to be more of like a game manager. He's going to have his ceiling. We know what Jake Fromm is, right? We know what some of these guys are. This class coming up is begging for somebody to come and compete for that third spot. So it's Tua, it's Herbert, and then it's a big drop after that. But it could easily be Love. It could be Jake Eason. It could be we were just talking about the kid from LSU, Jake Burrow. It could be any of these guys. I think Love has a ton of upside, though, and the Colts have already expressed a lot of interest in Love. Yeah, no. So he probably wouldn't have gone in the first round of the NFL draft unless something crazy happens. But it's very, very feasible.
Why did you just tell me that? Oh my gosh, Jordan Love on the Colts.
Love and luck,
man.
Oh my gosh.
He's good. He's a good player.
All right, that's all I needed. My fix has been fixed. My itch has been scratched. The last thing I will say real quick, I've got a little bit. I think I need some mending with my relationship with Devy. I was in my first Devy league last season. Got to the title game, I lost, and then after the season, it folded after one season. So I'm a little bit sour about Devy because that
literally
was
woke up and got down.
Yeah, woke up, got down, and was like, "Deuces, we're good here." I think I need to find sometime, perhaps in the offseason, a new Devy league that will treat me, that will hold me tight, that will be the big spoon that I need to hold me through multiple seasons, where Devy is actually a component that I can leverage in my dynasty life. That's all I'm saying.
Well, this is going to be a weird follow up to that, J Mike, and I don't know how it's going to be perceived, but I know you're Gabe's big spoon, and I might be a little bit heftier than you, so I'm saying I could be maybe even a bigger spoon to your big spoon already.
Like that.
I got so many Devy leagues, bro. If you want to come in and be a co-owner with me in one of these just to get back in, I'd be happy to have you. So maybe like I'm kind of thinking like the big like grandma wooden spoon, right? Like that crazy Larry,
like a ladle. Larry.
Well, I thought it was
Deltron's the ladle. Yes.
If J Mike is Gabe's spoon and you're gonna like spoon in there too, then I'll come on like the top, and then we can make like a double stuffed Oreo. So then J Mike, then we could layer it, Gabe, and
Matt. Have a curvy name. All right, mine is the only one. You couldn't.
Is SML's husband still in the chat?
Yes, he's actually laughing his butt off in the living room right now.
All right.
Like, who are you talking to?
Who doesn't like double stuffed Oreos?
Football. I'm like, I swear to God, it is.
Mr. SML. Yeah, shout out to Mr. SML. He's a trooper. Appreciate you.
I don't even know what happened right now.
Yeah, it was good. It was greatness. Greatness happened. That was it.
Excuse me. Oh my God.
Gave him out of bullets.
I have one Devi piece of information that you will only know if you are watching live in the open bar. I'm about to flex a little bit, just show my Devi knowledge, see what my Devi guys think about this one. You guys ready for this? Ready for this banner, huh?
No.
Hey, look, I'm gonna say it right here, and I almost think Ray will back me up on this. I seriously do not hate it. I could actually all listen to your argument for that all day long. I'm still stuck with my guy at 101, but I said it maybe 2 weeks ago on the Devi Happy Hour. Or was it with Ray on Destination Devi? One of the great Devi podcasts that are out there, both of those. But we talked about Jonathan Taylor could easily be argued for the 101 next year, and you're not going to hear a whole lot of flack from my side. I still have DeAndre Swift at 101, and I'm going to keep him there for as long as I possibly can. But I'm also trying to be subjected to know, like, JT could jump him there. He's legit, and he's answered all the questions that we wanted from him going from last year to this year. It's just, man, there's so many good players here. That's why it's like, if you can get the 2 or the 107, you're going to be really happy. If you can get Jonathan Taylor's we just did a mock draft. He went 106. It's crazy. So, like, if he's your 101, I'm not mad. He's a beast.
Peter's in the chat. So analytics probably doesn't like Jonathan Taylor, all those carries. So I know those numbers, those analytic guys probably don't like Jonathan Taylor, but I don't hate it. I mean, he's probably the most talented running back in the class, just pure runner, just running of the football. But DeAndre Swift is the man. I want the guy that can catch passes. I want the guy that you can line up in the slot, that can run between the tackles. It's DeAndre Swift for me, but I don't hate the Jonathan Taylor one-on-one take. But if you take Taylor one-on-one, I'll be very happy if Swift falls to me at 102 or 103.
He's a beast, though, man.
I'm curious what happens with the tiers, coming next year with just the depth at running back and wide receiver. It's going to be a tier 1 in the first round.
How about the irony, though, of Jonathan Taylor going to LA Chargers, one Wisconsin Badger taking over for another, just going in there like nothing ever changed, man.
Man. Sorry, Mel.
Yeah.
Sorry, Mel. J Mike, you just slipped out of Melvin Gordon so quick, bro. That's your guy for the last 3 years.
My man.
Like,
that was my man's. That was my man's. But actions of late dictate. I gotta make moves. I gotta look out for me. You know what I'm saying? I got needs too, man. Melly ain't worried about my needs. He worried about his needs, but he ain't worried about my needs.
Ooh, it's a bar.
Or SML Scott Fishbowl needs either. Drafting him at the 106.
Stop it.
It's all good. It's all good. It's all good.
He came out with it a day later. Like, I thought we were friends. He could have been like, hey, SML, by the way, I'm going to hold out. I've been like, thank you so much for letting me know. He did not do that. What?
I'll say SML over MG3.
Happy birthday. I didn't wish him happy birthday. I'm kidding. But no, he couldn't let me know. But he didn't. So a day after I drafted him first overall in the longest draft of my life, it was like 3 years until I had my next pick. It was awful. In fact, it's like so weird. My time warp is still going. I still haven't even drafted yet for Scott Fish. It's weird.
You were on me, by the way, on our little movie league. The thing that doesn't fucking matter one bit.
Movies.
You were on my ass, and you were drafting like fucking Dora and whatever in the first round. Like, the shittiest draft.
I was going through all the kids' movies. I'm like, all the kids' movies. I'm like, I'm doing it. I was also hammered.
Contrarian.
That's how I roll. Have we met? Of course, that's what I do. Mainstream.
That was our original.
Day long.
That was our original.
Lady, that bitch is running around the woods with a freaking monkey. Yeah.
What are we talking about? I have no clue what we're talking about.
Listen, you got to catch up.
He doesn't know.
J Mike, you got to do better. Listen, man. So what happened was, shout out to the homies over at Fighting Chance Fantasy. They had a fantasy box office fantasy league, and long story short, basically we had to pick certain movies that were in that came out in the summer, and so they couldn't go past like October 1st, I think was the date. So we drafted movies in like these 18 leagues, and so every time we get on the clock, SML was in the DMs like, dude, what are you doing? Let's go. Like I just fell asleep. Like, what? Why are you?
Well, she's one of those.
Straight up.
There you go.
She's one of those.
A fishbowl. It didn't work. Everyone just ignored me. Y'all should have just ignored me. Y'all should have just ignored me. That's what my husband does. He's like, "What? You said something?" Like 4 hours later. It tends to work. I stopped bugging him after a while.
Gabe killed us in that. I think Gabe got like Lion King, Aladdin.
No, that was Casey.
Well, I didn't. That's the problem. I did the best draft that I could from my draft position.
With me,
if you take Lion King, you win the league.
True.
I mean, how fair is that?
It's like Pat Mahomes. It's fine.
It's not even. It's like 3 Pat Mahomes.
True. It was fun though. It was really fun. I enjoyed it.
It was fun. It was incredibly fun. Shout out to Fighting Chance.
Absolutely. That was a good job.
Ryan?
Yeah, Ryan.
Okay.
Real fast though, is Ray running what's that damn movie called? Is he running it back?
Yeah, what do we got now? What do we got now, Ray?
Bring it back. Bring it back.
It's Inception. We're just doing this all over again.
Oh boy, this is gonna be a long pod.
Hey, so let me tell you guys about White Claws and Vino.
Oh my God! Who's saying it?
Did someone say?
Daddy's home.
She's not invited. She is if she's drinking more wine.
Don't mind us. Just a bunch of White Claw McGraws up in here. Just doing no, that timer does not say 45 seconds, Gabe. It says much more than that. So no, we cannot run this back.
Yeah, but I mean, due to technical difficulties, you've really only been here for an hour, so we have to get in your extra half. You know, I mean,
well, I need a cocktail, so
it's not how this works.
I think Lauren needs to switch from Dayquil to NyQuil at this point. Then
you don't tell me what to do.
That was a suggestion. It wasn't a demand.
Jake.
Should we go Tom Hanks movies?
Let's do it. Let's do it.
Oh,
Respect to Castaway. We could probably go. We could go
well,
2 rounds.
Lauren, you hold your horses. Hold on.
You got the 101.
Hey, hold on. Maybe this is a bad idea. Can we? Hold on.
One round. There's no. We can't bring this back.
Sorry, I even said that. I forgot that.
One round, and what we have. I don't even know that we've done it in this new season of ours, Gabe. So what is it? Season number 3 of the Open Bar Podcast.
I don't know what season we're on, bro.
It's season 1 of Real Housewives of the Open Bar, though.
True.
This is the pilot episode. This is a winner right here. So we're gonna have a draft real fast. Lauren, SML, you've got the 101. We'll just work our way across in a backwards W on the screen there. SML's the 101. Ray, aka J Mike GQ.
J Mike GQ.
Ray J Mike GQ. I like that.
Ray J Mike GQ.
J Mike GQ.
Deltron, the 103. I've got the 104. Gabe, you're dead last. I don't even know that I know.
I'm gonna get the worst.
So basically a quick draft, and we put it up on Twitter to see who wins.
Yep.
But yeah, you got the 101.
Big.
SML, go for it.
Big.
Okay.
Big.
I think you just took Trent Richardson.
Toy Story 1. Toy Story 1.
I think you should just take the Toy Story conglomerate there with that.
All right. Toy Story all of them.
We could
1
just
through
go
4.
2, 3, 4, and we'd be done. And then
All right. So I really got that. I should win it off of that alone. Toy Story.
All right. That was
are
strong.
y'all cool with that? Just to hog the Toy Stories?
That'll
Yes.
do.
That's fine.
Yeah.
That'll do.
All right.
I'm in agreement.
I would go if we were going multiple rounds here. I'd do this different, but because it's a 1-round mock, I'm taking Forrest Gump.
Well played. Well
I was
played.
clearly way far away since J Mike also just went. Ah.
Yeah.
I think of other Tom Hanks movies that I would take. I don't.
No, let me Google.
I know. Now I'm in the IMDb like scrolling like. Oh.
Is it back to me again, or is it like what?
No, you had your shot. You had your shot. SML.
Real good, because that was my first shot. I wanted big, so whatever.
Double entendre. You had your shot, and you had your shot. The at 104.
On Google.
I'm big time Googling right now. We should. I think we're putting Toy Story back in the.
You only get one. SML, you wow. I'm gonna and they said it in the chat. I'm gonna go Saving Private Ryan.
I thought that would fall back to
in a 104.
back.
We got to go 2 rounds, man.
This is how amazing my
no.
is.
Absolutely not.
Look, hey, go refill your drink, SNL. We're going 2 rounds.
Husband just delivered me a cocktail. That's how amazing he is.
Where is
Mr. SML? He's a real MVP.
Mr. SNL just delivered me a cocktail. Thank you, my love.
Hey.
Oh my God,
Shout out.
he got me my wine.
I got a good one. All right, I found one on Google.
Gabe, are you gonna make your pick or are you gonna time out here?
Oh, shoot. What's can I get a recap real
We're
quick?
going again, right?
So far 101 was big, 102 was Toy
Lauren
Story,
took Ryan
103 was
Leaf at the
Forrest
101.
Gump.
Big. She completely blew her draft. She took Melvin Gordon again. Damn it, Lauren, you're supposed to learn from your mistakes.
Thank you. Be
You're
quiet.
supposed to learn.
I'll never learn. You don't tell me what to do.
How are we not?
Listen, Ray, she's her own boss. You don't tell her what to do, okay?
Hashtag girl boss. Wow, that was really not good. But I did it. What? Judge me. I see you, J Mike. Be quiet. Who's next? I don't want to say
J
that.
Mike, what was your pick? What was your pick?
I just love your flexes. It trips me out so much. Saving Private Ryan.
Oh, okay, that's a good one. That was on my list. Well, I think it'd be
Your IMDb list
disrespectful.
or your list you got to pick from?
What's that?
It was on your IMDb list that you just looked up. Or the one that
Oh yeah, no, I'm digging for sure. I wanted to go back and look in because I was thinking of this movie, and I'll probably put it as like a sleeper pick. Because I was thinking of one, but I know it's not like popular, so I won't say it. But anyway, I feel it'd be disrespectful to not pick the movie that the whole reason why we're doing this. So Castaway,
Yes.
you know,
Great pick.
Nice.
At the fifth,
Value
at the
pick.
fifth spot.
Zeke
Now-
just
now
signed a
listen.
deal. I picked Castaway.
well done. So if we bring it back, can we do a lightning round if we bring it
Yeah,
back?
let's bring it back.
I still
All right,
need my
wait.
second pick, or did I get so confused?
Well, no, you had the first pick in the first round, so in natural snake fashion, you'll be last in this round.
Snake's not
All up.
Good.
What is going
Okay.
on?
I don't know.
I've got a good
This is
one.
what I
You're
do.
picking 201.
Oh, I get to go again.
201.
Great. Catch Me If You Can.
It's good.
Little Leo, little Tom
Leo.
Hanks. That's not my sleeper. I just like really enjoyed that movie.
It was
But
Good
a
movie.
Leo Dio is a champ. Just
it's
have to
just a
say.
good movie.
Leo Dio. Mm-mm.
Wow. Wasn't expecting that. So, what can I find real quick? Ant Bully. It's not gonna get it done.
What can I find real quick?
I can't get past Ant Bully. It keeps looking at me. I was like, that's terrible. Like, What? Oh, what was the? No. It just hit me.
Don't say it. Don't.
Oh my god! If you said it, I'm gonna be so mad.
Was it Captain Phillips?
Yeah.
What was the
Yeah.
name?
Yeah.
Captain Phillips. All right.
Love that one. Hey, look at
Still
I'm the captain now. I love that.
I love that this fell to me. I was so surprised, but this is a shout out to the late great Michael Clark Duncan. How you doing, boss? I'm John Coffey. Give me some Green Mile, bro.
Yeah.
I actually read the book, you jerk. I know that.
Bet you didn't read the book, Deltron. Huh?
I watched that movie like 4 times. It was good.
Then that's the same. You're good.
All right.
That's
Well,
good.
my pick fell back to me, and you guys are sleeping on this. Shout out to the early 90s, but A League of Their Own. I'm going to take A League of Their Own.
Nice.
I've got Mahomes with Toy Story, and I just doubled back with Kamara here with A League of Their Own.
Fantasy Tom Hanks game is stupid.
Oh, shit. I should have picked something else. Damn it. I just saw
Is it
something.
back to me?
Yes.
Oh, I've got 2. I've got 3. He's in so many rom-coms.
Rom-com.
So many. Let's go ahead and I'll stick with mine. You know what? I'm gonna go whatever. I'm gonna do the Da Vinci Code. Yeah. What?
Those are fun movies.
I like that.
Any UDFAs?
I'm the Da Vinci Code. Whatever. I didn't even
Yeah, so
pretend like I'm laughing.
we're 2 rounds. That's it, right? We're not going back.
Yeah, we're done.
Yeah, yeah.
UDFA Apollo 13.
Apollo
What
13.
is going on? I'm pretty sure you guys don't want to see what round 3 is gonna do to SML over here.
No.
Popped up on cold medicine. I may have given Sam Darnold mono. Just letting you know. We didn't explain that tweet from the open bar tweet, by the way. You can't spell mono without stepmom, which makes no sense. But that's fine. I was digging it. I retweeted it.
That's the thing. They make no sense. So people are like, "Oh, what in the world is he talking about?" And they
I loved
tune in.
it. I loved it. Yeah, I gave Sam Darnold mono, not the other way around, people.
My Big Fat Greek Wedding was good as well.
He was in
Good one.
that?
Sully?
Google said he was.
Really?
Yeah, Sully was
My-
good.
My sleeper was Philadelphia. I don't know if y'all have seen that one, but
That
that
was
one's
a sad movie.
that one's
Way
really-
to fall down. Way to bring us
really,
all
really
down.
good. Yeah, that's a good one.
Underrated
Still
Christmas
myself for
movie,
you.
The Polar Express. The
Oh.
Polar
Hey,
Express. Very good. It's a very good movie.
that's Deshaun Watson right there. I like that a lot. The other 2 I want to throw out real quick. Had no idea that he was in. Wow, I just lost it. Obviously, we didn't even mention Sleepless in Seattle, which is like classic, super
Yeah.
classic.
Man.
But I didn't know he was.
got mail.
In Seattle?
Yeah. No, I'm saying we didn't mention it.
Yes, I did.
When?
After I took my first round pick, I was like, wait a minute, can I take Sleepless in Seattle? You're like, no, stepmom, Lauren, you already took your turn. You can't do it. You already said big. I was like, Sleepless in Seattle is a great movie. Where were you, J. Mike?
Damn. Both the J Mike.
Yeah, where y'all at? Hey, what about Turner and Hooch? I seen it in the chat.
That's a great movie, too. I hate this game. I love all his movies.
So apparently, the Tom Hanks catalog is just vast and amazing.
It
All
is.
right, I can dig it. All right, Gabe. That was it. That was for you, Jake Anderson. I hope you're pleased.
Yeah.
The executive producer, the
Indeed.
emeritus.
Wait a minute.
Executive producer.
This is a lie because, as Peter Howard knows, Jake Anderson is dead. I killed him.
Oh,
How to Get Away with Murder with SML.
I killed him.
Mr. Rogers is up
I
next.
had to fill in. I helped out Peter Howard on his podcast because he killed him, and I was like, no, I killed him. So Jake Anderson, you're dead. You know it. Don't pretend to be someone you're not. He's
Wow.
a.
was it
Yeah,
the
I
take?
understand
Did you take down all of the players that he
I
likes?
buried him in front of my house under a bunch of beautiful rose bushes that are blooming quite gloriously
Aw.
right now.
Well, that was nice of you.
It was. He is, compost. I am one with nature.
FF Rosebush.
I like to recycle. FF Rosebush. That sounds so bad. You might find an FF Rosebush. Just saying.
That might be this person right here in the chat who just joined us. This is FF Rosebush right here.
Isn't there one of those movies like my stepmom is a murderer? Isn't there one of those movies?
It was not based off of me at all.
Y'all are not laughing at that enough, man.
No, what you Gabe.
I'm just Googling it to see what pops up.
No, Jake Anderson is dead. I killed him.
Oh my gosh. I'm done. Nope.
What's up, Gun? Lots of fertilizer, he says. FF Rosebush, baby.
Yeah, he's buried in. All
right.
Don't concern yourself. It's fine. I'll handle the police. Just go.
All right. We're coming up on 2 whopping hours. Just $1.20 in the minute section. We gonna get it. We didn't quite get it as far as the record, and I'm not going to tell you what that is. But boy, howdy, round 3. That was good. That was too fun. J Mike's face disappeared, and then he came back right away. Thank goodness.
All
right. Yeah, I don't know what else to say, but that was just so incredibly fun. And now we're going to try to leave with outros, and we'll see what happens from there. We will start with our Devi crew. They wake up just to get down. McGriff, we'll start with you. Share anything you'd like about me, yourself, your boy Ray, the People's Champ, anything, man. The floor is yours.
Slovis.
Man, how about look at J Mike, man. Hey, J Mike's new handle too should be FF Little Ladle. FF Little Ladle. I think we're gonna rock with. No, man. Look, love coming on here. You guys are always too much fun. Stepmom Lauren, aka SML, bringing the fire and the heat, like with some authority tonight. Ton of fun. Obviously, love hanging with Ray, but man, appreciate you guys having us on. Check me out on Twitter at Commish McGriff, also at the Devi Happy Hour under the Dynasty Happy Hour group. Shout out to TG, Tyler, and then also do Devi rankings and some writing over there as well on the Devi Happy Hour website. But no, a ton of fun, man. Appreciate you guys having us on. I fully anticipate winning this draft we just did with Forrest Gump and Green Mile. I don't know how any of you guys can compete with that. But we will let the people decide. So, hey, good night.
Did you get those down, J Mike, or are you developing a tweet so this can happen?
I think he schooled us, like for real.
I was mad about Forrest Gump. I thought that was somehow.
I know. Green Mile and Forrest Gump were excellent choices, I have to say. Done. Roasted already.
That was chalky, man. I wanted you to dive deeper. That's too chalk. Screw that, man.
That was chalk.
Is like future children.
That was chalk. They might not respect you for those picks, Griff, just because they were so basic. All right, very pumpkin spice latte like.
If anybody's got any disrespect on those picks, come see me.
Okay, no one's going to come see you. Got it, Deltron. Okay. Pass it over to Ray. What have you got to say, brother?
Real quick story. So when we were talking about Austin Eckler and all these undrafted free agents. I played at the great Chadron State College in Nebraska, and there was this kid that was coming in that I heard a bunch about. Broke Gale Sayers' rushing record in high school, and he was supposed to be the truth and all this other stuff. So in walks this 5'8". He looked like Scary Larry running back. And I was like, dude, I was recruited by UNLV and Boise State. So I was like, big shit, because I was recruited by UNLV, right? No offer, just recruited. They sent me like a brochure in the mail. So first practice, I'm playing backside corner. They toss this kid the ball. He's running a sweep on the other side. And as the DB, you take the angle to cut off the running back. And I'm taking the angle, and I just couldn't. Like, I couldn't catch him. And I was like, holy shit, who is this guy? Anyway, this 5'8", 195-pound running back turned out to be Danny Woodhead, and was a PPR darling for us all. So just let's not sleep on the small school guys, man, because Danny, hell of a guy, the best athlete that I've ever personally been around, and I've been around some pretty good ones growing up in Vegas and playing out there. But I really appreciate both of you guys having me on the Open Bar. This has been a blast, and hanging out with SML and my man Deltron. It's been a great time. So if you can, follow me on Twitter at RayGQ, show Destination Debbie. Check that out. There are a lot of great Debbie shows out there. I'm also co-host on the Debbie Happy Hour. So, hey, man, just interact with me on Twitter. I love college football, love Dynasty. Redraft is all right, but, it's
Fair enough. That's amazing. Once you said Chadron State, I knew where that was going.
Yeah.
That's great, though. I cannot get your huge face out of this screen right now. So
I don't know
I'm just gonna.
Up on my
I don't know what to do with my hands.
I'm trying. Yeah.
Great
Yeah.
job. Keep doing it.
I feel like we just need to. Oh
not
man,
cooperating for me. Here we go.
I really wanted to cut on D'Angelo's "How Does It Feel?" Just let that play, and just have Ray be extra awkward in the middle of the screen. Like, am I supposed to get naked right now, or what's going on?
Come on, Ray. First time on the show, huh?
Guess what?
And with that, we will go on to SML.
Hey.
That was a joke, Lauren. Don't do what we were gonna have Ray go and do.
Please, chill. Nope.
Chill with that. All right, say what you gotta say. Speak to your people.
I
SML.
wouldn't do. Yeah, you guys, thank you so much for having me on. This was such a blast. I'm gonna be totally selfish here right now. Go follow me on Twitter at StepmomLauren. Find all my stuff, stepmomlauren.com. I love to interact with everybody. I love answering your questions. Follow all these guys. This has been a blast. You guys, thank you so much for having me on here. I've been dying to come on this podcast for quite some time. So thank you so much for having me on. And I'm glad you were okay with my authority. Sometimes I can be a little obnoxious. Thank God my husband still loves me. And you guys do too. Maybe sort of. I hope so, just a little bit. I mean, a little bit's okay. I mean, it doesn't have to be a lot, but none would really suck. So a little bit's okay.
No, I threw it out there. SML over MG3, man. You moved up the ranks for sure.
I love it. Thank you. I appreciate it. Thank you guys for rocking the SML. I'm loving it. I mean, you've made it in life when you have an acronym. I mean, come on. That's great.
Where you are birthed in the FF community.
SML. Yeah.
I got you, girl.
Thank you.
Gosh. The synergy that you all have is absurd.
I know, we got it.
Wow, the Real Housewives of Open Bar is a real thing.
It's
well
scary,
done,
actually.
That's real. Yeah,
I feel like a Deltron sandwich in this Real Housewives thing right now, and this is crazy.
Hey.
Oh my God.
Watching Deltron.
Ooh.
Hey.
Swag.
Oh, wait.
Swagging.
And
That's all I'm doing.
J Mike, on to you. Would you like to answer Peter's question? I mean, we have people in the chat. You can't just ignore him, J Mike. I don't know what this thing's about, but it's kind of disrespectful if you've just got these people in here talking nonsense and you're going to ignore them. So I don't know. Up to you, man. It's your show. At least half of it.
Just real quick. When you Google Rashard Penny, I don't get much that comes up for a Rashard Penny. So no, we did not talk about Rashard Penny. We did not talk about Rashard Lewis.
Rashard Jennings.
We did not talk about Rashard Jennings. None of those. Not Waylon Jennings.
She's a great mom.
I mean,
Money
not
Penny.
Penny Loafers. None of
Okay, don't worry. He fixed it.
Pennywise.
Mike. He fixed it.
Nothing but love to the
I love Peter.
My guy, Pedro Howard. He's the best expat that we have here in the States. To everyone in the chat, man, including you, Pedro.
Over here.
Including you, Pedro. To everyone that joined us in the chat, Mr. SML, SML greater than PSL. It's fall time, y'all. Don't be basic. Appreciate you guys. Thank you all for having us on your ears, on your computers, on your phones, wherever you may be listening to us. We appreciate you. Again, it's the Open Bar live, 9:30 p.m. Eastern, never late, always on time. We are so grateful to be able to kick it with you, and for you guys to be able to be a part of our lives. You can find us all over the place wherever podcasts are, except right now for Apple, because we're beefing. But that beef will be settled here soon once they, get right with us. And so hopefully they won't take big at 101 in any kind of Tom Hanks draft. But regardless of that, you can find me on Twitter at JMICCheck, at JMikeCheck. You can find the show's handle at The Open Bar Pod, at The Open Bar Pod. And you can find my better half, my main squeeze, my little spoon, aka Genius the MC, aka Mr. Not the Best Fit, Gabe Gearing on Twitter at FFManBun. Again, to everyone, if you're listening to us on podcast form, please make sure you don't have to leave a rating or review, even though we would appreciate it wherever that is, but share it with a friend and just enjoy, work out to it, whatever you got to do. Kick it with us. We always like to have a good time with us, and even on our live show on YouTube again. Gabe, with all that being said, I am beat. Take us. Oh, and I didn't even say, wait a second. To our guests. This has been such an absurd delight. Deltron, you know that we've been rocking with you for a while. We appreciate you, and we appreciate you coming back through. Ray, I've been admiring your work from afar for a while. And so I'm thrilled to be able to chop it up with you and to be able to meet you this evening at SML. You go from yelling at me on a draft that we have about movies to yelling at me on my podcast. This is 2019, and I'm living my best life. Still about movies. Full circle. No, but thank you all so much. We are truly humbled to have you. Thank you for kicking it with us. With that said, Gabe, sorry, take us home.
All right, I have to address the chat because FF Rosebush is getting a little rowdy here. Where is he? When will I be on the podcast? All right, FF Rosebush. Your answer is whenever you have time, which it appears you are having a child soon and you'll have time off. So if you don't want to take care of your newborn baby girl, go ahead and hop on the Open Bar. Bring her on too. You're welcome. You are absolutely welcome. I think we say what, J Mike? Go ahead.
I was just going to say, middle of the night, he wakes up just to change diapers. Duty now. Hey. That was all. That was my remix for Tyler's newborn coming up. Anyway, carry on.
I wake up just to wipe down.
Hey.
Oh, boy. Yeah. So we'll have you on, Tyler. I think we are booked like a lot in the next few weeks. J Mike's just been working. Okay. We definitely have a show next week. I know that much, right, J Mike? Is that true?
Yeah, the 924 show. I'm telling you, it's going to be a spicy meatball. Ready for it. Ready.
Good.
You want a preview of that or no?
Sure. I don't know.
Or do we leave everyone?
You know more than me. 924? Who?
924. Right?
Oh, that's
next week, right?
Okay. Oh my gosh. I was looking. We were in a DM today that was in October.
I'm on, bro.
Bruh. Okay, so if y'all want to get on to the Open Bar podcast for Wild Card Weekend, okay, go ahead and hit us up at the Open Bar Pod. J Mike Check, FF Man Bun. Come get at us. Wild Card Weekend is open, to my knowledge. J Mike, are you gonna?
No preview.
No
Just
preview.
Kidding.
What?
In suspense.
God, you are edging. You are edging, my.
Debbie now.
Hey. All right. So I don't have anything else to say besides go to our store. Did you mention that yet, J Mike?
I did not. You got it.
Okay. The openbar.storeenvy.com. We put out a new shirt last week. We're kind of selfishly putting it out there because we're Jaguars fans, but we love Duval, and we also love Shuval. Mine's coming in, man. I'm getting ready for Thursday night. Going to make those Titans. I'm going to spoon mayonnaise down their throats, bro. Okay, you're going to eat it. You're going to eat it.
Mayonnaise though, dang.
Yeah. Just visit the Jaguars Reddit. You'd get it. You'd get it.
Okay.
It's kind of like Bill's Mafia jumping through
Don't
tables.
visit Stepmom Lauren on Google, then you really think that's weird.
Leaving that alone.
Me too. I was about to make an open bar bet, but nope. Getting a layoff. Got it. Okay. So go into our store and buy some of those. Whether you like Jags gear or not, it doesn't matter. You have to like Gardner Minshew. I mean, how?
Yes.
Yes, that was fun to see that. And there's some other fun shirts in there. We got the Wubba Lubba Chub Chub. He's grinding out there. Okay. Hopefully the Browns are okay. Yikes. Still got our Girls Clout cookies. We still got the open bar OGT. And J Mike, he has a t-shirt for his podcast, the Dynasty Dummies podcast. So go and listen to that. He hardly plugs that. Did you recorded last night? Is that right?
Yeah, recorded last night. I did. Got it posted and everything.
Okay.
Real dark and early this morning. It was fantastic. Hashtag Dummy Blitz, hashtag 15 and out. The Dummy Blitz on the Dynasty Dummies feed.
100
there.
Everyone's been kind of referencing the Devi song for these two fellas and their pod. I did the intro. No, I appreciate being asked to do that in the first place, and anyone who has done that. But I do make FF intros from time to time. This niche market. What, J Mike? What?
Just keep going.
Dude, I don't know what you're talking. Okay. I don't have anything else to say, but we're going to be here next week. It's going to be 9:30 Eastern-ish. We are probably going to stream on YouTube and possibly Periscope if I figure out how to do this again and figure out how to send a tweet. But gee whiz, until then, my people that are here with me, thank you so much. Thank you to the chat that might exist, might not, whether you're in a podcast form. All of you, put your drinks up, do a little cheers with me, do a little dap in the air, whether you're in the car, just like look like you're just punching, boom. Yes, the open bar. I made it 2 hours and 15 minutes. Holy wow. We did it. All right. We are going to see y'all next week. Deuces.